Sarah, what have you done?
Kerrigan, the die is cast. This is the last day. Your swarm darkens the sky of any planet.
Forget Minsk. Forget all of it.
When we are done here, I will return to my people and accept their judgment.
Command, we've found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base.
I made my peace long ago.
Consider it done. For ire. Indeed.
StarCraft fans, the casual family-friendly tournament FSL is deep in its playoff schedule and is now getting to its conclusion. The Code A champion was crowned when Gray in a surprise upset beat both the Archaic and Scion. He will now head on to the much tougher Code S division to take on Instability. The winner will take on Veils, the rookie Terran who some consider the favorite in the quarterfinals, who has had a dominant season so far. Now we head on to the other semi-finals match between Dark Menace and Neutrophil. This should be an exciting series as the best Zerg in the league takes on the multi-champ Neutrophil. The winner will be the first player in the finals, awaiting a worthy opponent. And of course the popular 2 versus 2 finals is on with Polaris taking on Valhurt. The Terran Protoss team of Caliber and Instability will be looking to avenge their regular season loss to Veils and Hertentime's powerful double Terran team. Watch it this Friday starting at 6 p.m. US Eastern, as we finish off an exciting Season 6, with the best of 7 championship match the week after. See you there, warriors and fans. This is the FSL.
Well, we're back, guys. 2 more broadcasts left. We do have ET casting tonight, so let's bring him in. Alright, live.
The FSL playoffs
And
continue.
I got
We saw Fenrir come out as
Mr.
champion.
ET here. What's up, ET? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
Good. It's been a while. Did you get a chance to watch the preview video for our matchups tonight?
I watched some of it, not all of the video actually.
Got it. Yeah.
Seen some of the stuff we have to look forward to, and a lot of it looks pretty exciting.
Yeah. So let's show what we have tonight. We don't have the 2v2 tonight because one of the players is not feeling well. So we'll push that into the finals weekend or Friday, right? The last week that we have. So
Right.
Here you go. Here's on the lineup tonight. Why don't you talk about what we got going on? There's no 2v2, of course.
Yeah, let's see here. So it looks like we got Gray versus Instability to start.
Yep.
Which should be pretty exciting. I seem to remember this being a little closer than I think folks expected it to be the first time we saw it in the group stages. Or maybe I'm switching up opponents.
Yeah,
But I
think
feel
maybe-
like...
So I don't know if they haven't faced yet because the different divisions.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, he made it from the...
Yeah, Gray's
Who was
moving
it?
up, and now he's ready
Some
to
other
go.
Zerg.
Yep.
Anyways. Well, it should be exciting. Gray, obviously, one of the up-and-comers. It feels like we've had some pretty promising folks rising up out of the Code A into the Code S each season. Obviously,
Yes.
last season it was Criminal. Criminal, though, I think there was like a little bit of like, is this guy just going to come in and cheese everyone and win the Code S as well? But did wind up getting stopped pretty hard as soon as he made it to Code S. So we'll see if Gray can make it a little bit farther than Criminal did. But it should be an exciting match overall. Instability's PVZ is pretty strong, so a lot to look forward to there. Yeah, JMPZ, that's what it was. Instability saying
Yeah,
in chat.
JMPZ was pretty decent, right? We were pleasantly surprised there how he did. But it is Code S, so this one's Code S jump, so it's a little bit different, a bit tougher. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a big jump up, obviously. It's tough to do for sure, tough to pull off, but you know, he does have the solid fundamentals. I'm not sure if that helps him too much. I feel like his play style is pretty similar to a Dark Menace kind of play style a little bit, where it's the very macro focused, and obviously Instability generally performs fairly well against Dark Menace. So, you know, she's pretty good in those straight up games. You really got to kind of confuse her. But we have seen 12 pulls out of Gray, I feel like. So
That's right.
There's definitely potential there.
Yeah, he switches it between the two, and JMPZ was also a macro player, but then he planned some timings. So I mean, but instability, you're not gonna get caught off guard at this level anymore, right? Unless it's a super unique build.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously winner of that'll face Vales, who is, I think he's still only dropped one game total in the entire season, if I remember right. So
yeah, and he's won all the series.
Won every series, only lost a single game. So that's obviously a pretty tough matchup, and obviously coming off the back of a best of 5, or is it a best of 3 for the quarters?
Yeah, these are all best of 5s. You only have 3 matches tonight. They'll all be best of 5s.
But yeah, coming off a best of 5 and then having to go into Vales, you know, obviously there might be a little bit of fatigue coming in there.
Yeah.
So I feel like Vales has got to be feeling pretty confident about at least making it to the grand finals here, unless Instability or maybe Gray, but really probably Instability can pull something out.
Yeah.
And then Dark Ministers' Neutrophil, you know, is a tale as old as time, basically. We've seen them in the playoffs many times. Neutrophil barely eked it out over Dark Menace last season in the playoffs to make it to the finals, and did manage to win the finals there, the grand finals after that. So we'll have to see if Dark Menace can get his revenge. If I remember right, it was like the last game as well was one of those, like, Neutrophil just hid the fact that he was making like 12 BCs and then just warped them all across the map. And won from a huge supply deficit because Dark Menace had like 4 Hydralisks and no other anti-air. So we'll have to see what happens there.
All right. Well, then we'll find out our grand finalists after today, and then they'll play next week for the finals, along with the 2v2 finals, which have been postponed 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, there's 4 players instead of 2, so it's even harder to get schedules to work.
That's true. But this time, you know, we're so close to the end of the season. I'm kind of excited to take a little bit of break and make some adjustments. And I think FSL is pretty good, you know, getting pretty popular. We just gotta plan out what we're gonna do next season. But we have our players ready, I think. Let's bring him in. Okay, so let me pull in instability. Okay, we got instability here now. And let's add Gray. Oh, Gray dropped off. Oh, there he is. Okay. Alright, we got Gray and instability on. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello. So, Gray, making it out of the Code A in your first season, I believe it is. How's that got to feel for you? Pretty good, right?
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I'm expecting to lose today.
There you go. I muted him.
Yeah.
He's double. Yeah.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, you know, a good result. I feel like Criminal had a pretty similar performance the previous season. We were talking about him. Had just come back from a long hiatus in his case of like years and years, and swept the playoffs. So a good performance there. We'll have to see how you can do against instability. Obviously, no easy opponent here. That is one of the things with the advancement is it's not you advance out of the Code A and you play the worst Code S player. It's you advance out of Code A and you play one of the best Code S players. So it'll be a tough job, but we'll have to see how you do there. How are you feeling overall about tonight's match?
Well, I played like 1 or 2 games with Instability before, and I know she's very formidable. So I'm kind of scared right now.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. And Instability, how are you feeling about tonight's match?
Probably the same way I felt about every match prior. Not great.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, I think that pretty much does it. We can go ahead and hop in. If KJ, do you have any other questions for the players?
Let me double check that you guys did your veto so we can get started.
Yes, they are good there.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we'll get the map started. Good luck to you, both of you. We'll see you after this best of 5 is done.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, I got them deafened up.
All right, great.
So,
I'll go
ahead and talk about the maps really quick. We got Stargazers to start. Stargazers has some funky things you can do. I don't necessarily foresee either of these players doing it, but we've seen the proxy hatchery into mining out the back base minerals and things like that in some pro level games. So it's definitely a little bit of a funky map. You got the top spawns instead of the cross spawns. Even though it may not affect too much, it definitely always feels a little weird, I feel like, playing on those kinds of maps. Followed up by Cosmic Sapphire, which is a pretty straight up map. I feel like it's a relatively short map, so you can get some strong pushes going there. And you can punish mistakes by your opponent a little more aggressively. And then Data C, a very, very big macro map. I think we've had a lot of pretty epic macro games on Data C throughout the season. Moondance as well has that pocket base, so it can make for some big games. And then Tropical Sacrifice to close things out. Tropical Sacrifice, I think most notably just has a tough wall off to do on the natural for Protoss players, although we haven't seen any huge mistakes with it throughout the season, at least in the Code S that I remember.
Yeah.
So,
well,
should be pretty exciting overall.
Here's a cool thing. We started this new thing where we grab player ratings. It's mostly me. This is my judgment of the players, right? We have a spider chart based on certain attributes. So I want you to look at the attributes that I pull up. So let's start with Gray. We showed that last week, and here it is again. And
let me pull up the stream. Sadly, I no longer have the internet that lets me just have the stream going the whole time.
That's right.
We'll take you. Let's see.
We'll take you as we can get you. How about that?
Yeah. So I can't read the words yet because it's just in the corner while the ad runs. But okay, there we go. So macro, definitely a very macro focused player. He's got a little bit of cheese. Defense versatility. Yeah, I'd say that all makes a lot of sense. Maybe macro is a little bit too high because obviously he's still not perfect at it, but it's definitely his strongest point. And he does have a little bit of that cheese factor can come in. We've seen the 12 pulling things catches opponents off guard more than once. So I think overall it makes quite a bit of sense.
Yep. So that's out of 70, the total there. And let's load up Instability and see what you think of this.
Just waiting for it to pop up on screen. Although I can say we definitely need to add a score of 0 to Instability's internet chart on there. Cheese factor, we've seen some cheese out of her for sure. Multitasking, mechanics, and speed, I'd say she's a little bit of a slower player sometimes, and we have definitely seen the multitasking. I guess the biggest example of that was the previous season's Code S finals against Neutrophil, where it was kind of just a Warp Prism won the game 4 times in a row, basically.
That's right.
Because it's hard to deal with. But micro and offense, I feel like if she's looking at her army and she's in one spot, she has some pretty solid engagements. Like you'll see her win with armies that you wouldn't necessarily expect to win. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
All right.
And then yeah, her macro and defense fairly okay. She's got the ability to hold off proxy 4 racks with Colossi, so that's always going to be pretty solid defense.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Let us get this game started on the first map.
Yes, indeed.
It is a best of 5, guys.
Yeah, we're getting into the long series now. As we have here in the upper right-hand corner of the map, upper left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. She is
Instability.
And in the top right, in the orange, going for that 12 pool like we kind of talked about, he is
Gray.
Alrighty, so 12 pool it is indeed. Now, am I crazy, or did they add it's one of those map extensions that let you see where the players are actually looking, right?
Yes, we
That
have
used to be a thing?
the new one.
Okay.
I loaded the new one, the mods where you can see where they're looking. It's pretty cool.
Nice, yeah. That's what threw me off. I was looking at the mini map and I see the little box around Gray's base, and I'm like, we're in the top right. And then I realized that was his box of where he's looking. I'm like, oh, never mind. We're not in the top right.
I really love this feature.
Yeah, that's very cool for sure. All right, so instability going out with the regular scout timing there. Already got the Lings on the way. Does Gray. Base just now going down, so she will scout what's going on here. You just got to see how she responds. Obviously, just knowing the 12 pool is coming is less than half the battle, I'd say. Quite a bit less. Because there's a lot that has to happen all at once in order to properly hold this off. You have to add your second pylon on. You have to make a wall off that's good, which this is sort of there a little bit. She did get the second pylon, so I don't mind it too much. Generally, you're going to want to chrono a second zealot, and it looks like she does have that queued up, and the zealot should make it into the wall off with a little bit of time to spare. So this should be a fairly solid hold. The one thing is that the zealot, or the hole in the wall being so far to one side doesn't make it harder to kind of poke out and defend your gateway.
Yep.
That's why you typically want to have it in the middle, because then your zealot doesn't have to go out as far. Once the second zealot comes out, though, she should be able to, with some decent micro.
Oh, she put it in the back.
this
She's conceding the gateway, huh?
Yeah, I guess just going to lose the gateway then.
Surprising.
And wait for that first adept to come out, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's not the end of the world to lose a gateway. At the same time, you could have a Nexus going at this point if you didn't have to spend another 250 minerals on a gateway and pylon you didn't particularly need.
Exactly.
And the fact that you make the second zealot. If you're only making one zealot and then you're chronoing the adept out of your second gateway when it finishes up, then it's like maybe. But if you're already investing that much money into zealots and everything, you really want to kind of defend the gateway. So definitely a good start for Gray there, but he's got to keep up from here is the big question.
Yeah.
You know, not enough damage to just end the game, which means now it's going to come down to his macro versus her macro.
Yeah, we saw Cyan. I don't know if you watched the game. You can see the difference here where Cyan's defense versus Instability. Instability is looking to punish right after this.
Yeah, adding on 2 more adepts. Would definitely like to see her go across the map with the adepts and the zealots. Definitely forces out a lot more zerglings out of the zerg there. But I think, honestly, losing the gateway was just, she messed up the wall off, and I think she kind of knew that, and so she couldn't risk it. So I think that was overall a fairly good choice for her to do that, because she kind of knew, you know, that she'd already messed up at that point. You know, it's too late. Because I think what happened really was that second gateway wasn't positioned right, because she was in a little bit of a hurry, and so then you couldn't really put the cyber anywhere. So not too bad of an adjustment, but
it's better
still
safe than
definitely
sorry.
a little bit painful.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
gonna wait
absolutely.
until the next round of warp-ins, so she'll be even stronger. Me, when I play
I wonder if
Protoss
she.
and I'm in this situation, I send my guys right away because I want the Zerg to make links right away.
Right. Yeah.
But she's playing safe or something.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe she's worried that there's. I guess most of the time she's been 12 pooled was by like Neutrophil, who then follows it up with a Ling Bane all in.
Yeah.
So might be worried about that, I guess. It's a
But
little
yeah.
questionable here. Oh, she's going 2 Stargate Phoenix. Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
why are you making a Phoenix if you got a Stalker to kill the Overlord? But she made the second Stargate in range of the Overlord, so there was really no reason to make the Stalker. You know, he already knows you're going for 2 Stargate Phoenix. The only reason to make that additional
Yep.
Stalker that's not going to be very useful is if you're trying to deny the Scout. Still, though, 2 Stargate Phoenix is a build that requires a knowledge check, basically, of what should you do against it as the Zerg. So we'll have
Yeah.
to see if Gray can kind of keep up with that.
Yes,
He's already.
no.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He's making a lot of spores, which is
Already.
good, but it's
Yep.
definitely early.
Too early.
You want to make them as late as you can while still getting them up before they have like 8 to 10 Phoenix.
Yep.
I'd say.
Yep. And he forgot his
This early,
overlords too. They're still out
much
in
into
the
your
map.
economy. Yeah, the overlords are moving out. It's one of those things. I always had to like click around and find every overlord and manually cook them back.
And there you
Because
go.
I never built up. I have some people that, or some friends I know who hotkey their overlord eggs to a hotkey, like so every overlord's on that hotkey for specifically that reason. But I could never build the habit. Could never.
Yeah, I
get
can't
that
do
ingrained.
that whole hotkey off of a larva. A lot of the good Zergs do that, but it's too late for me.
Yeah, it's definitely something that would have been worthwhile, but yeah, it was not not something I ever managed to build up. Now she could have gotten one of those queens, I think, but she got a little greedy and lifted both queens, which means she only had 1 Phoenix shooting, so that's a little unfortunate there. But going into her third base pretty quick. She's not too far behind in workers. Already cutting Phoenix production, it looks like. So let's see what she plans to go into from
ET, man,
here.
one thing I'd like to be critical is she got these gateways and she's not warping in and she's not using her units. She could have put some pressure.
Yeah, that's a lot of zealots and adepts for no particular reason. I wonder if it's going to be like a charge lot all in off of this, but she's not making extra gateways. She's getting a forge and a twilight, so I guess maybe just kind of going into a macro game.
Yeah.
But she's just not doing anything strong enough. You kind of got to lean into something a little harder than she has, and she's kind of just reaching out for a couple more Phoenix and now charging +1, but there's not enough of a focused effort on something.
It's as if
Still though,
she concedes. She's okay with a macro game. She's like, yeah, that's fine. I'm good.
Yeah, and Gray never made Ling speed, funnily enough.
Oh.
I'm not sure if that was intentional or a mistake, but
probably a mistake. Pressure, man.
she'd already shaded out, so not going to matter too much here. In come the Phoenix now. We'll just lift a few drones. Obviously, 1 or 2 spores on their own don't do that much damage to Phoenix. Oh, and finds the overlords. This is a bad habit a lot of Zergs have, which is just rally them to the back corner. But you really want to rally them over your spore crawlers, especially when you know the opponent went for Phoenix. But Phoenix are now trapped. She didn't fly out of there. I guess she was microing the adepts, which makes a lot of sense as well.
She
maybe gonna recall out.
She
I feel
doesn't
like
look
she
as
could have
sharp,
just
man. What's
flown
going on?
out. Yeah, she did mention to me that she was quite literally disconnecting from every game she tried to practice the last couple days. So
to practice too much, but I think
Pretty rusty.
even if she's a little rusty, man, I feel like she's still favored by quite a bit.
yeah, she should be. And I mean, if your opponent is making 10 mutas into your already 10 Phoenix, you gotta feel pretty okay about
man.
that.
That's a mistake then. Yeah.
Speaking of knowledge checkpoints against people going for Phoenix, one of those is don't make Mutalisks. We'll see how this does, but she's continuing to make more Phoenix. She's even adding on a 3rd Stargate and a Fleet Beacon, so she'll be able to pretty quickly get Phoenix range. And she already has +1 air as well.
Yep.
So these Phoenix are going to do very, very well against these Mutalisks. Still, he's banking up a lot, of them, but she's still making more Phoenix.
Oh, but she's still making more Phoenix. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, if she somehow
Now, did she see the Spire? Or no, she did not see the Spire, so technically doesn't know this is coming.
Yeah.
But going to be pretty happy to see it when it does come in.
Like, oh, really?
Yeah, got to be really careful
But
with
she's
the
not
micro, of
microing
course.
that well on it.
Yeah, definitely some miss micro there. But I think she's got enough Phoenix with enough upgrades that as long as she doesn't just completely A-move into him, she should be okay.
And the range is almost there. About 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, something.
Yeah, not far off on Phoenix range. And she pulled the workers away. She is a little bit down in workers, but nothing super dangerous. As a Protoss player, you don't worry too much about being this far behind on workers, at least. And, yeah, losing Phoenix, but Phoenix, you know, you lose 2 or 3 Phoenix to kill like 5 or 6 mutas, you're pretty happy with that exchange, I think. And now range is done, so...
Yeah, Gray's still making mutas.
Yeah, trying to overwhelm maybe, and then he's going into mass Ling, but she's already got +1 charge lots with +2 on the way. She's sort of accidentally counting everything he's doing a little bit, but
He's got a lot of hatcheries still, so I like that, but...
Yeah,
she's not
yeah, he
in
has
the
a good
right
amount of
positions,
expansions,
man.
but
She's not in the right position, so he's getting something out of these mutas.
yeah, but she should be able to hunt these down now, and I think
Yeah,
it's
these are
well
dead.
worth it to just focus this group of mutas. Yeah, she can just jump on top now as well. So there goes
9
28
workers
Mutalisks for 9 Phoenix is definitely a pretty okay trade, especially when you
Indeed.
still have plenty of Phoenix left over to continue to get some value with. Okay, now he's making link speed. Okay, I was gonna say these lings still do not have
Oh
speed,
my
but he does have link
gosh.
speed on the way.
I was gonna say.
Back when I used to play mainly gasless Zerg, like the gasless opener into like 4 queens and then 2 gases, I would get into these like really long macro games against mech players primarily, and then you'd eventually get to the point where all you have left is minerals and like a tiny bit of gas. I'm like, well, I guess I researched ling speed at 30 minutes into the game so that I can do something with these 4,000 minerals. Not quite to that extent here, which is nice. Now, I will say she does have a lot of charge lots, but that's it. And he has a lot of banelings.
ET, man. Gray has a good chance in this game. Look how many hatcheries he has.
Yeah, she really should have, as soon as she killed that last flock of mutas, she should have been going into carriers. Really, as soon as she got like 10 or 12 Phoenix, she should have been getting carriers. Because just like 3 or 4 carriers ends this game, basically. Because the Phoenix can lift the queens, and then nothing can contest the carriers. Yeah. As it is, she's not going to have any carriers. And I'm not really sure why the delay on that. I guess she's a little low on money, but she's not that low on money. She does know exactly what's coming for her, though. She saw that. And there is no Bane speed, but... Yeah, the slow queen walk, indeed.
And the queens are enough to deal with the Phoenixes.
And she's going into Void Rays.
Oh, man. She doesn't have... he doesn't have Transfuse here, either.
Yeah, no Transfuse, which is a big difference. I feel like you see that many queens, and you know you've got 20 Phoenix or whatever. You just go kill the queens before they even get here, you know? Yep. You can lift every single queen and still have half your Phoenix shooting.
Gray goes soon. Oh, and there it is. He's triggered.
Yeah, here he comes. And now he's got Ravagers. Oh,
and
no,
the Biles are perfect. It hit the Archon.
For humongous. And his own Ravager there, but that's not a big deal. And yeah, should be able to clear out the Ravagers, but just the Banelings could win this game pretty much at this point.
Yeah, if he goes...
I guess once the Void Rays come out, she'll eventually clean that up, and she does have 3 bases behind this. And this is a big commitment out of Gray, but I don't know. Maybe if there was a sentry or 2 to kind of force field the wall, but oh man. And now the Zealots come in and are going to get absolutely crushed. No Bane speed does hurt a little bit, but I think it's still going to be more than enough, surely.
38 workers. Oh, but the Banelings are
going
going in the back.
Oh, yep. Banelings into the main base, killing a lot of workers there as well. I feel like you kind of just got to go as instability here, and you almost could. I mean, he's making a lot of Hydras, though. But still, it's going to be like 20 Hydras against 20 Phoenix with some Void Rays, but...
Gray should just let it go with the links, and he didn't have to retreat and see what you can do with them. Kind of dispensable, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Man, if instability just made some carriers, I don't know why there was this much of a delay on that. But took quite a while to do that, and now getting heavily punished for it. She's killed a bunch of Overlords here, but Gray made about 10 too many anyway, so he only barely goes below max supply cap.
She needs Storm, I think.
Storm, or just a lot of carriers. I mean,
she does have
+2
right?
air,
Yeah,
and once you have +2, if they don't have armor on the Hydralisks, if you get 6 carriers or so, then, I mean...
And here's a
this
counter
is
run by.
game over for your Hydralisks. Yep, big counter coming in. These are +2 Zealots, but there's just not enough of them to really keep the Ling's attention very well. And now she's out of money. There comes some carriers, which is nice, but 30 workers to 78. I don't know. Oh, and now there's Corruptors coming in. I mean, there are 6 Void Rays, so if you get 3 carriers, if you can get one more round of carriers out, and all he's got is no armor Hydras and +2 Corruptors. I don't know. Maybe you could.
Her problem is
her army supply
at this point.
Yeah, her army supply isn't too far behind, though, and it's going to stay that way because he's just about maxed out. So every moment he waits, it's just going to be more carriers coming in, maybe some Archons getting added on as well. I'd really like to see that. Just a couple Archons.
She cannot take a bad fight, otherwise this game will be over. So she has to be super efficient, man. Quite a surprising game 1.
Yeah, it just felt like she didn't have a super strong plan overall. Just didn't know quite what she wanted to do.
Ooh, let's see if Gray throws it all in here with this choke.
Yeah, here it goes. Should be able to finish up the Archons, or income the Phoenix, I guess, and just spam lift as much as they can. I think if another round of carriers could have come out, it was like a maybe. Well, still, Phoenix, I mean, they do plus damage against light, so they are absolutely annihilating the Hydralisks here.
Gosh.
And now we're lagging out.
Oh,
wow.
and this time it is Gray.
Of all the people in this lobby, I would not have expected it to be Gray.
I wonder if... it looks like he's out because his camera's out as well.
Oh, man. Maybe an internet outage or something.
Yes, so he may have to connect, but this looks like the end of it for him anyway because...
Yeah, I mean, it's 34 army supply to 72. She kept all the air units alive. The Archons are still alive underneath. It's like, what do you make here with the bank that Gray has? Hydras, that's not going to do anything. Just Lings won't do anything. He went a little disjointedly. I mean, the Corruptors kind of flew ahead and got wrecked, and then... I mean, just the Phoenix did a lot against these Hydralisks.
Yeah, he had the chance. Really he didn't need to kind of go in there. He has the whole map. He probably could have just chilled out a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think if you kept her pinned on 3 bases, that would have maybe been enough. The problem is, against the comp that she has, what you really need is spellcasters, and at this level, that isn't necessarily something you're going to see. Oh! He made it back in at the 11th hour.
Yeah, he made it back in. Let us wait until he's ready.
Okay. We'll just give him just a second then. Yeah, I mean, with the state of the game being as it is, I don't see much of a chance for him.
Yeah, he kind of threw too much there, I think.
Yeah, he just lost a lot of stuff. And do we have the battle report in this one? Is that one of the things that's got?
Yeah, let's see.
How do I pull that up?
Shift B. I just did it. And
yeah, so 3 Void Rays, an Archon, and 5 Zealots for 26 Hydralisks.
That's a lot.
4 Corruptors. Yeah, I mean, 2-to-1 basically trade there for instability, and she was already relatively even on army supply. And her, I mean, not just army supply, but her army is a lot more technical and expensive. It's like mostly carriers and Void Rays and Archons, and Phoenix, which are all very gas-heavy units. And yeah, now the Corruptors are going to get hunted down as well. And it looks like it's, well, potentially the end. She's kind of slow to come across with the carriers, but is going across now. Still has a ton of Phoenix that can just pick up any rallies. And yeah, I mean, he's making 15 Hydralisks, but you just had like 30 Hydralisks, and that didn't do enough. So I don't know that 15 is going to do much better, especially considering she really didn't lose any of the Phoenix, which are really what won her that fight.
Yep, that was a good lift. Very good lift for her.
Yep.
Come the
and now she can
Hydras.
just pick
The
up
carriers are all
as they
alone,
pop out.
but there's not enough Hydras popping out.
Yeah. Not looking too hot for sure. I mean, he's got a good economy if he can somehow survive the next minute, but
not gonna give
doesn't
him a
look
minute.
like it. Phoenix will jump on top, and down go all the Hydras, basically.
Yeah, he almost pulled it
Yeah.
off. ET almost pulled it
Yeah,
off.
it was close. Like I said, I think you just need spellcasters. It's just a couple parabombs on the Phoenix or
Yeah.
things like that, you know. I guess he also made the mistake that many Zerg players make against Skytoss of thinking that Hydras are worth anything at all. If he'd just gone like Roach, Bane, Corruptor, I think maybe he wins that there. The Phoenix just aren't going to do anything with Corruptors. Although,
The
he'll
other
do
thing,
okay. Should have +2, but...
The other thing is, if he just kind of used up all his lings, he had her in terms of the defense there. She only had air units, and there were a lot of lings.
Yeah, when he pulled back originally. And then the big thing that kind of gave her a pretty big opening in the game was making like 20 mutas into someone who's already going triple Stargate Phoenix.
Yep.
Is just not... I mean, if he'd just gone Corruptors there or something like that, I don't know. I think it would have gone a lot better for him. But even past that, like obviously he got that big play with the Roach, Bane, Queen and everything and managed to... secure himself, I'd say, a lead, but then going into Hydras from there instead of Corruptors. I mean, you already have the Spire from the Mutas. Lingbane, Roach, Corruptor, Ravager, then I think you win that fight with... Because you could have had like 30 Corruptors there instead of 30 Hydras, and that's a much better situation.
Yeah.
That said, though, he's got at least 2 more chances.
Yep.
So we'll see how he does.
And he
It's
looked
going to be
closer.
Cosmic Sapphire.
It looked closer, the matchup, than we thought it would be. But then again, his ability did
Yeah.
not have a hot start and middle of it.
Yeah, that's true. And I think you can kind of see there the lag showing a little bit with the Phoenix versus the Mutas, where I've experienced that. You could definitely tell the moment of like you're already clicking back, but the Phoenix are not hearing you quite yet, so they just charge directly into the middle of the Mutas.
Both of them have lag because he's also on the other
Yeah,
side. So
yeah, he's got a lot of lag too.
we'll probably
so.
have even lag at this point. But we'll see what happens in game 2, guys.
Alright, spawning in the top left corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we've got the orange Zerg player. He is. And his opponent in the bottom right, the red Protoss player. She is.
Instability.
Alrighty. So, doesn't look like it's going to be a 12 pool for gray this time around. I think this map's a little bit easier. I think, is this a 2-building wall off? I don't remember. I feel like it might be.
Yeah,
it's a
you
2-building
can't-
wall
it
off, so.
doesn't- Just one slot to open.
Yep.
Oh, but look at what Gray's doing.
Oh, interesting. Hatch block?
Yeah, he's gonna hatch
No?
block, I think, because
Oh,
he's
yeah, I
getting the
guess.
hatch, and then
Yeah. And then he's gonna throw one down here as well, potentially.
but he doesn't have the minerals. His timing is off. He's just gonna delay it.
Yeah, I guess
no,
so.
Man. His ability is ignoring it for the moment. You're supposed to put a probe here to
There, if I
prevent that
could.
from
Oh.
happening. But nope, Gray is spending his money. He has no intention.
Okay, yep, just running it around a little bit, I guess.
Yeah,
Fair
'cause he
enough.
got his other structures. He's just being annoying.
Okay.
Instability.
So slight slow down in the Nexus, but nothing super heavy.
Yeah. She's getting warmed up, I think, right?
Yeah, getting there. We'll have to see what gets pulled out in this game. Cybercore going to be finishing up soon, so we'll see what tech she opts for. Probably just a Stargate again, I would have to guess. But we'll see that what she opts to drop down there. It's going to be Stalker first, which generally would indicate not a Stargate, actually. But yeah, I'd kind of like to see if she scouts and sees that it's not going to be a 12 pool. That one build she does where it's like 7 gate off 1 gas. All in that she's pulled out. I feel like that would probably do pretty well against
She's probably
Gray.
saving it, man. She saw the game last week where Cyan crushed with the charge lot all in.
Oh, there is a Twilight Council.
This is so hard to stop if you're not used to it, especially dealing with a level higher of a all-in.
Right, yeah. So a little bit late. I feel like maybe she took her second gas a little later than you normally would, but we'll see if it's going to be DTs or... Yeah, that's true. DTs or maybe charge or... Probably not blink. I guess it could be glaives. I don't really foresee that. Nope, looks like it's going to be DTs indeed.
Oh.
He's coming in from the side where the Stalker is with that Overlord, so I feel like
he's
he'll
not
see the Twilight Council, but I don't think he's going to see the Dark Shrine, of course.
Yeah, as a Zerg, if you see a Twilight, you have to think about the possibility, right? Especially if it's not spinning.
Yep.
Oh,
but he actually turns around immediately. He does see 2 gateways, though. That's in theory a tell, but at this level, I'm not sure if he reads too much into that.
He's getting lair already, which is good for him.
Yeah, that's a well-timed lair for this overall. Especially because I do think her Dark Shrine is a little late, so he's got a little bit of extra time going into the Roach Warren as well to try and defend.
And she's not getting speed or anything, so she's gonna invest really fast DTs, do as much damage, and then turn them into Archons.
Spine Crawler, eh? That's interesting. Feels like maybe a little bit of a misread.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, because you ideally want Spore Crawlers to be going down now, because even with that lair, the Overseer would be kind of slightly late. She could maybe snipe the 3rd here if he doesn't start an Overseer immediately, and I don't know that he's going to. In come the DTs.
4 of them will snipe that pretty fast.
Yeah, and that Spine Crawler ain't doing much.
And there's
Oh, but she's gonna go ahead and split them up.
And why not? You're gonna put
I think
this
that's
guy
fair.
into a real multitasking test here.
Yeah, because I mean, 4 DTs can snipe the hatchery, but
and he still has
a bunch of DTs in all different directions can probably also snipe a hatchery because you're so busy trying to split up into every direction.
Might as well take guaranteed damage of workers too.
Yeah, because you don't know, he might be already making
19 workers killed, no mining.
Okay, looks like he should be able to save the 3rd base. Will she save these DTs though? Yeah, saves the 2 DTs as well. DT up in the main base, gonna get picked up as well. Yeah, 21 workers, pretty solid start.
That's critical damage, man. That's almost guaranteed win, especially at this level, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Gotta be pretty close to over. Obviously, he can still recover in theory, but you're basically at a 2 base economy against a going up to 3 base Protoss who's getting charged, getting Immortals out against your Roaches that you've got.
Yep.
It's gonna be tough.
And the opponent's a superior player too, so it's gonna be tough, really tough. She would have to bungle this.
Yeah, well, and a good start she could make is like losing her Warp Prism with Archons inside or something. That's something I think we've seen in the FSL before, so
yes, sir.
It's always doable. And see, now he's just trying to do too much. I mean, double Evo and Hydra Den.
Yeah, the game
I don't think you can
that
afford.
set.
I don't think you can afford that at this point in the game. If she does decide to go for a big push, which she's sort of shaping up to do, she's cut worker production, at least for the moment. She went up to 8 gateways, I believe. Yeah, 8 gates, immortal production, charge, no +1, which is, I'd say, the only mistake she made. A forge, but then I think she forgot about it, which is understandable. And now the Archon's coming in just to harass. They're going to be able to do a good amount as well. Oh, but she's going to maybe lose one. Ooh, the fancy pickups on extremely low HP.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So second Immortal's coming out. Yeah, I mean, he's making a lot of workers, but I don't think these Evos are going to accomplish anything, because in theory, she should already be across the map by the time those upgrades are even halfway done. She might actually end up waiting because she forgot her +1, though, and she's going to want to wait until it's done, I would guess. Which might give him the time he needs to kind of catch back up with how hard he's droning. He's up to 67 workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she should just go even without the +1, but she's going to wait, and we'll see how that turns out for her.
She's gonna clear creep instead.
Yep, going to be able to clear out some creep, which is good. Feeling blind against Protoss armies feels really, really bad as a Zerg, because, you know, positioning is really key against Immortals and whatnot. And if they suddenly show up on your doorstep and you don't have any advance notice, it's pretty rough to try and get the positioning set up.
Yeah, he's going to Hydras. Gray is.
Yeah, trying to make it there. May be able to, although you kind of need something in front of those Hydras. He's got a little bit of roaches. 18 roaches is all right, but 4 Immortals going up to 5 is going to be a lot to deal with there. And once the roaches go away, then the charge lots swarm all over. And the Archons also help, obviously, to tank a ton of Hydralisk hits.
85 workers for Gray. I'm going to have to up his macro rating, man.
Yeah, it's going to have to go off the charts. But I think he's done too much. I mean, we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
It's possible he somehow pulls off this fight, but...
+1's going to finish.
Yeah, +1 finishes up for instability. It doesn't quite finish up. It's going to finish up during the fight, but +1 armor is nowhere to be seen. Hydra range isn't doing anything, and yeah, I mean, just so much stuff for instability and just too many upgrades and also economy going on for Gray with how much damage he took to ever be able to get an army up here, unfortunately. So it will be a pretty swift game, too, heading into potentially the final game from here. All right, well, that was a lot cleaner on the side of instability this time around. 1 DT in exchange for all of your workers is a pretty solid trade for Protoss.
Yeah, when Gray watches the VOD, he's gonna see, oh wow, I actually had a decent chance in game 1. But I would also say instability had a, less than ideal start and mid game. So this one, she had her normal level game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was just another case of not quite having the knowledge there for Gray in this game, because once you see those gateways with that Overlord, I think you got to just sack it to try and confirm what's going on, or at least get a bit more in focus. If he goes in a little bit farther there, he at least sees the Twilight, and he probably sees the Robo. And at that point, you definitely want to make at least a Spore Crawler your third, if not just an Overseer.
Mm-hmm.
So not having that wound up costing him the whole game.
Well, he's down to his last life, and this map is Data C. Anything unusual he should be aware of in this map? Just a little bit of extra analysis here. I mean, it's a little bit bigger map, as you can see here.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of big macro games. It's a hard map to attack into for Zerg in particular, I feel like, on the 3 and 4 base setups. Because there's just so many tight choke points. Although, admittedly, we've seen no splash damage out of instability in this series yet. And that's really where choke points matter, is for Colossi or Disruptors or even Storm. And we haven't seen any of those 3. Mainly comes into play, obviously, with tanks. So it should be a fairly macro-focused map. You can cheese on it, but it's got the ramp into the nat. It's pretty big. It's not going to usually work out super well for you. All right, and we are loading into the bottom left-hand corner of Data C. It is our red Protoss player up 2-0. She is
Instability.
And her opponent in the upper right, fighting back. Will he be able to take a game in the series? The orange Zerg, he is.
Gray.
Alrighty. So once again, no 12 pool out of gray. 2 games in a row now. I almost would have liked to see it on this map, although it does have the ramp up to the natural, like I mentioned. So, it's going to be a. I
15
don't know about
pool.
that. Yeah, that feels a little late. In PVZ.
Yeah, because you're gonna get blocked here. Oh, well, actually, no, you won't.
Yeah, you won't get blocked. Well, you could get blocked if.
Yeah,
if they do,
usually
like,
you have a big
pylon
chance
scout.
of getting blocked.
But instability, I guess, does go for the later scouts a lot of times.
Yep.
But it's more so the what is this going to accomplish, really? I mean, you
Maybe
can
he's
go
playing
for like
safe.
a yeah, I guess just playing safe, but
anti-cannon.
Yeah. But instability's not really one to cheese this early in the game. She's the early, like late early game cheeser, if anything. DTs, that 7 gate, things around 2 or 3 bases focused.
Yep.
But and then in this case, it's like you're not really able to put much pressure on them to she doesn't have to make a zealot. She can just make her regular. Well, I guess she will make a zealot. Doesn't need to, but she's going to. Makes the extra
playing
gateway,
safe,
but
man.
this stuff is all things that doesn't have to happen against this.
Yeah.
And if
surprised
it
she
doesn't
made a
happen,
Zalot,
then you're just
though. Like you said, because there's a probe right there seeing things.
yeah, exactly. So maybe she cancels it now. I don't know. Really ought to, but probably won't. Nope, she's gonna let it come out.
She wants a full-time wall duty person there.
Yep. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. She could be thinking Bane bust as well at this point. Like I said, I think a lot of the games she's lost against Zerg players have been Bane busts over the last couple of years.
And I believe
that
he's
we've
done
seen her
it.
in the
Gray's
FSL.
done a Bane bust before, so.
Yeah, and I mean, she sees early pool with an earlier gas, so it's like maybe that's what she's thinking. Because she was making a stalker as well. Looks like she canceled that.
But Gray
But,
only had
obviously
2
Stalker
workers on the gas for a while, so he's not rushing to a Baneling nest. And he has the money now, and he's still not doing it, so.
Yeah, looks like he's not gonna go for it.
Oh, look
But-
at that.
oh yeah, she
Instability,
definitely.
close.
That's what she thinks it is. 100%. She thinks
Well,
it's a Bane
she's just
bust.
blind countering something that isn't there. Wow, that's cool. But she might as well be safe, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you
But-
just make the stalker
Yeah,
pile
Stalker's
in there
enough.
because the stalker tanks like 18 banelings or something crazy like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to
He's gonna get a great scout.
do both. Yeah,
And she's trapped, man. She cannot expand for a while.
I think she's doing the
She's
7
doing
gate.
it all in anyway.
Yeah, she's doing the 7 gate. Or some amount of gates. She's got 5, and I think she'll go up to 7. Got the warp prism. So I guess that makes sense to wall off then, because if it is a Bane bust, great. And if it's not, you're all inning anyway. And you got a warp
Yeah.
prism to lift your units out of the base. So
And it's slow lots, basically. Without the... I wonder if she's doing the Immortal right
she's
after
making
this.
too many. That's 8 gates instability. What are you doing?
You know, if you're not efficient, one more gate is fine.
That's true. That's true. And I think it is going to hit a little later because she did have to adjust somewhat due to the whole early pool thing. So
There you go. She's gonna kill the Overlord with this. But she's not making Immortal with this, so it's not like the Haas build here. But
Yeah, you don't have the gas for that, I don't think.
Oh, and there's gonna
Just
be
Lings though is
roaches,
going to be tough to hold with, but yeah, I think he's going to be able to make roaches.
and he's
Big
making it
supply
now.
block though. It's going to be 4 roaches and like 15 Lings, but
Oh,
he's not making any
yes.
overlords just yet.
Oh man, there it is. 2 overlords.
Yeah, but those are going to be pretty late to try and defend against this. Because the overlords have to finish, then you start the units, then the units have to finish. And that takes a while, although she's really going in a little late, so maybe. There come the overlords, but you can see he's floating 700 minerals,
Well, he's
200
not
gas right
making
now, yeah.
anything. Yeah, he's not
8
making
more roaches that could be here, but aren't going to be here for a little while yet. Does she go for the third, or does she go into the gnat? Yeah, the gnat. Okay. Yeah, this is not looking great for him. As she's going to be able to get her warpins right on top, even doing some
You might as well
warpers and
pull the
micro.
warpers here. Yeah,
Yep,
there you
and
go.
indeed he does. Where are her zealots? Why isn't she warping in more zealots? She's got the warpins available. I think she tried to warp in stalkers and then didn't have gas for that and just gave up. These zealots could have already been out. Still, I think it might be enough, even with that late
18
warpin.
warper skilled, but he doesn't have much money anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, he's now down in workers by a good bit. Look at those stalkers. She's kept those alive so well. Picking them up into the prism. That's very nice. And now 7 or 8 more zealots, and
the queens
with the
didn't
stalkers
join the
staying
fight
behind.
either. I think you want to
Yeah,
bring the queens.
you know, could have
F2
pulled
in
the
there.
spine up, pull the queens up. Maybe you hold. As it is, I think he's slowly going to get overwhelmed here.
Yep. Focus fire on the prism with the queens. That kind of thing.
Yeah, because obviously she just had the prism set up, but it's going to be GG.
All right.
Well, you can go ahead and undeafen instability, and I do not see Gray in a voice chat.
Yeah, let's see if he's gonna hop on.
Well, while we wait for him, congratulations to instability. For winning that pretty convincingly. Game 1, you know, you got like pretty lucky that Gray just made mutas into you and you kind of wiped them out, but then you almost lost it there to that giant all in. It kind of just felt like that game was lacking a strong sense of direction for you. Do you think that's kind of fair to characterize it that way?
Yeah, well, basically I looked at the map and thought, oh, it's a muta map. I'll just make phoenixes, and I had no idea what else I was going to do besides phoenixes.
Oh, I'm walking all over KJ's toes with the mutes and unmutes. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, yeah, I guess the Roach Ling Bane really caught you off guard there in a pretty big way. But we'll talk more about that after we talk to Gray here. A good try. I think the games were... Each game individually was quite close, except maybe the last game. But even the last game, I think it was just a matter of like a supply block so that you had maybe a half dozen fewer roaches than you could have. So very, very close games overall. I think should be pretty happy with how that went overall. Game 1, you kind of made mutas into a Phoenix player. Was that just kind of you had that build locked in your mind and you just didn't divert from it even with that, or was that a conscious decision? Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That was my plan to. I mean, for game 1, I want to go mutas. And then even though I saw the Phoenix, I think they're not gonna trade well, but I think I'm way up in terms of economy. I had like 5-6 bases at that time, so I don't think I would care if I lose 2 Phoenixes because I can always replace them with Hydras or
Yeah.
I think I got tilted. My internet connect, but it's not really a reason because it's unfair to instability. She's really good. It's just so that I could have provided a better game today. I think. My internet, I'm not sure what happened. It's getting on and off, so
Oh.
kind of.
Yeah, no, that's completely understandable. It's hard to play at your best when your equipment isn't working at its best to kind of thing off. So that makes a lot of. Who? Let me recall. Was on data C. Nope, that was game 3. Gosh. Oh yeah, game 2. We had Zealots, right? No. Yeah.
Game 2?
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
it was just the DTs. The DTs was the story of game
Yep,
2, really.
yep.
I guess did you think it was? I think you knew there was an attack coming. I think you just thought it was something other than DTs. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So, I created enough army to deflect an attack. I forgot about DTs. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, she did a great job of kind of splitting them into each base, and just so many workers lost there. You
Yeah, it was really hard
almost,
to recover.
yeah, I think you almost got a comeback there, but she attacked maybe, I think if she gave you another 2 minutes or something, you probably would have been even on supply at that point, and your upgrades would be finished up. So a close game there. And then game 3, obviously, all in happened. You got a little supply blocked. I'll give you one piece of wisdom that I learned from Pig years ago that he talked about with all-ins, which is when you see an all-in coming across the map, you should immediately make overlords and then make units. Because the
Oh.
natural reaction is to
Yeah,
make
that
units, and then you realize, oh, I only made 3 units because I had no overlords.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's right. I thought, because I was trying to count the number of gateways, so, I thought I was confident like last minute before the game ends, because I think I have enough, or I was able to macro enough to produce roaches, and then I got supply blocked. So.
Right, exactly, yeah. So that's something I've tried to ingrain as well. You just make like 2, 3, somewhere in that range overlords, because obviously, typically in those stages, you're making drones, which are a lot more larva efficient. 8 larvae into drones is 8 supply, but 8 larvae into roaches is 16 supply. So your supply plan isn't necessarily for making units. So you just throw in some extra overlords as soon as you see an attack, or supply depots or pylons, and then you worry about your units. Is typically what you kind of want to do. Obviously, you can go overkill on it and turn into a laser, but it's probably better to tend in that direction. So I'll give you that piece of wisdom from myself. KJ, did you have any other questions from Gray?
Gray, you were devastating in game 1. Her base killed a lot of workers with all these lings, but then you went all the way home with all those lings. Did you F2 home, or because you could have left the lings and they could have killed a lot more stuff? They were deep in the base.
I think before the fight started, I don't know, because there was a big clash before she attacked me again, right? So prior to that, for some reason, my internet connection is not disconnected for some reason. So I chatted like possibly something like that, and then after after the game resumed, my units are already going back, and I lost everything. So
This is not
really
this is
sure
not
what
the one
happened
where you
there.
disconnected. It's before that, where you busted in with the Bane.
The
lings.
Queen,
you
Ling
were already
Bane,
in.
Ravager all in. Yeah.
It was,
Oh, like the links?
yeah, you were all the way in, and then you pulled them all out, even though you only had air units, which you could just throw them away. I get it. You go back with the Hydras.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
want to
sure what
like just
happened.
let them all die. So anyway, I think you can watch the VODs and you can see what I'm talking about. So if you don't remember, that's okay. You can't answer my question, but nice try. You look closer than I thought it would be. Given instability's level, it just shows that you've improved quite a bit. So good, nice job. And,
Yeah.
we'll see you next season. As you know.
I think this is a phrase overused in the FSL sometimes, but the 3-0 score doesn't really tell the full story, I would say, of that series.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it was
exactly.
a lot closer than a 3-0, or at least it
Yep.
felt that way. So very well played overall, and
All
good
right.
luck next season.
Well, good luck, Gray. We'll see you, and congrats, Instability.
you.
You'll have to stay
Thanks
here
for-
for your next match. We'll chat and take a break.
Congrats,
So-
Insta. Good luck to your next match. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll bring in
All right.
Vales for a quick chat, and then we'll take a 5-minute break before they start their match.
Alrighty.
So let's bring Vales in for the next round, which is actually the semifinals now. The winner here goes to the finals, Codes finals.
Yeah, making it into the big bucks, as they say. So, Instability. Obviously, you're coming off the back of a best of 5, so you're already warmed up a little bit. How are you feeling about your chances overall?
Probably not gonna be better than last time.
Fair. Okay. And Vales, how are you feeling about the match tonight?
Pretty confident. I think I'm playing a lot more than Instability is looking at her history, so I think it should be pretty one-sided, unfortunately.
There you go, the
Fair
confidence.
enough.
Loving the confidence. Because we usually get something the opposite, right? When we talk to them, ET, they always say,
Yeah.
I don't know, things not looking good. But refreshing to hear confidence.
Yeah, you get players going into the grand finals with a 7-0 score, and they're like, I don't know. I'm just not playing well, and I don't feel very good about it. And I'm like, come on, you haven't lost a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to hear. All right, well, yeah, I don't have too much to ask. I think we'll have to see. We'll have to let the games speak for themselves, as some people say. I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys
Any
are
other
done
questions
with
from
your
you, KJ?
vetoes, I think if you're done with the vetoes, I'm good to go. Good
No,
luck.
we have not done the details.
Yeah, I think we can take a quick break while they do the vetoes, and then come
Yeah.
back and
Yep.
get into this.
All right, we'll be back, guys. Good luck. We'll see you in a bit.
Good luck. All right, and we'll take a quick break. I need water, and then we'll be back with our semifinal match.
StarCraft fans, the casual family-friendly tournament FSL is deep in its playoff schedule and is now getting to its conclusion. The Code A champion was crowned when Gray in a surprise upset beat both the Archaic and Scion. He will now head on to the much tougher Code S division to take on Instability. The winner will take on Vales, the rookie Terran who some consider the favorite in the quarterfinals, who has had a dominant season so far. Now we head on to the other semi-finals match between Dark Menace and Neutrophil. This should be an exciting series as the best Zerg in the league takes on the multi-champ Neutrophil. The winner will be the first player in the finals, awaiting a worthy opponent. And of course the popular 2 versus 2 finals is on with Polaris taking on Valhurt. The Terran Protoss team of Caliber and Instability will be looking to avenge their regular season loss to Vales and Hertentime's powerful double Terran team. Watch it this Friday starting at 6 p.m. US Eastern, as we finish off an exciting Season 6, with the best of 7 championship match the week after. See you there, warriors and fans. This is the FSL.
heard that. I think it's your dad, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He just mentioned that apparently you like watching my videos. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Instability, Stu Blue, and Neutrophil. Good luck in the FSL. Protoss Power.
Hello, Meadow. Thank you for being my fan. I hope you can keep cheer for me and have a nice day with StarCraft.
For you, Meadow.
Hello, Meta. Keep playing StarCraft 2. Hope you enjoy the game.
Hey, Dark Man, keep playing Turk. It's fun and hopefully you'll get some good results. I'm cheering for you.
What are the most useless units in
Sarah, what have you done?
Kerrigan, the die you cast. This is the last day. Your swarm darkens the sky of any planet.
Forget Minsk. Forget all of it.
When we are done here, I will return to my people and accept their judgment.
Command, we've found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base.
I made my peace long ago.
Consider it done. For ire. Indeed.
Alright, so Veto's done.
Alright, vetoes are done, right? You said? So we're
Yeah.
good to go. Let's do that. Let's show the vetoes.
Yes, we've got Inside and Out and Waterfall vetoed, which I think are the exact same maps that were vetoed last time, possibly. So that's interesting. But going to be Cosmic Sapphire for Game 1, then Data Sea, then Tropical Sacrifice, and then Moon Dance and Stargazers to close us out if we make it that far. Winner of this match will advance to those grand, wonderful finals we've heard so much about. And we'll be playing next week against either Dark Menace or Neutrophil. So, a lot to look forward to there.
All right, let's bring him back in, and let's get started with at least a good luck to these guys.
Yep. All right, y'all, we're getting ready to host up the game. Good luck and have fun to both of you, and we'll see you after the games.
Thank you. Same. Instability. Good luck.
All right, and back in the pit of Deafen they go. As we do host up, it's going to be Cosmic Sapphire to start. Like I said before, a little bit shorter of a map. It's got a lot of rocks. If you clear out the rocks, it's a very short map indeed. Just have some Zelnaga towers, a couple cheeky gold bases in the corners that you can play around with. So a lot of fun stuff that can happen on Cosmic Sapphire. A lot to look forward to, I think. And it's going to be a PvT. Obviously, Veil's been smashing everybody, basically, left, right, and center. The only player that's really looked like they stand much of a chance against him was Dark Menace. And granted, that was when he walked onto creep with his entire army in a ball. So,
yeah, and while we're talking about Veils, let's show his spider chart ratings. And let me see what you think of this.
Yes, I've got the stream pulled up just for this. So Veils, offense, extremely high. Macro, quite high. Definitely agree with both of those. Cheese factor, yeah, I don't think we've seen Veils cheese much. I feel like maybe we saw some Reaper builds out of him, but very rarely. Very fast, got good mechanics, also known as Terran player. I think this all makes a lot of sense. He's definitely shown some vulnerability to pressure builds and harassment. And I think that's definitely where you're going to want to. And yeah, 0 on versatility. I think it was the last time they played. Instability made fun of him for only ever playing one build.
Yeah,
So
3 racks. Yep. All right. Well,
makes
there
sense.
you go, guys.
We'll see how it stacks up here. Yeah, we should have like a internet column for instability that's 0 and a lack of sleep column.
Oh, the internet as a player rating.
Internet as a stat, and then yeah, just Vales himself can have the lack of sleep rating, considering
Yeah.
he always plays at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
All right, as we are hopping into game here in the bottom right-hand side, we've got probably the favorite to be the champion of the whole thing, of the blue Terran player. He is
Vales.
And his opponent in the top left, the red Protoss player, she is
Instability.
Alrighty. So, yeah, definitely advantage Vales here. We've seen it in their previous series. I think it was a 2-0. Well, I guess every series except his series versus Dark Menace was a 2-0. So, it was a 2-0. We'll have to see if gods bleed tonight, basically. I guess not. He bleeds, we've seen, but do they get conquered?
Do we know how much practice Instability has had? Because I remember when she played Vales, she really did not look sharp at all. I mean, less than,
it's
you know.
true. I know she's really struggled to find the internet, basically, to practice much. So we'll see how that pans out, as he's going for an eBay block, which he's gone for like every game he's ever played against her, and she's never, ever, ever responded to it with any haste whatsoever. So we'll see how this goes. Yep, and now she sees it way too late.
Yeah,
I feel like
this
at
is
this point you just go take your third, you know? I feel like he pretty much always hits around the third base timings anyways, not really, you know, before that, so it's not going to make a huge difference.
That's true.
I mean, 600 minerals floating right now, 700, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and she pulled a lot of workers for this, and she still she canceled the Zealot. I was gonna say you might as well cancel Zealot.
Yeah, a lot of workers, and a lot of workers really late. This is way behind schedule, so.
Well, you can bet Neutrophil's gonna be aware of this.
Yeah.
For if they
and
play.
If he's not, hey Neutrophil, scout your net. I beg.
Yeah.
And there's the second and soon-to-be third packs. Now, as for instability, we'll have to see what tech she opts for. It really is a shame because she's looked so rusty against Vales in pretty much every series they've played, which, I mean, that's a good Reaper snipe. But I feel like her PvT has been historically her strongest matchup, like by a good margin. And I don't think we've gotten to see peak instability against peak Vales, and that's something I'd really like to see sometime. I don't think it'll be this season, but maybe sometime next season. Because I think that would be a true slugfest and be pretty epic. It's going to be a Twilight Council pretty late, and you can kind of see the proof's in the pudding that instability is just behind an entire Nexus, basically, right? Like, she's been floating 400 minerals just about the entire time. Now throwing down some gateways to try and make up for it and everything, but...
she's closing, though, right? She's closed?
No, there's a gap between the two gateways.
Oh, okay. It's hard to see. Looks
Yeah,
like look at the overlap based on the yellow markers there.
Yeah, the yellow lines are a lie, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think it is indeed a gap. But we'll see, I guess, when these stalkers walk out of the base, or don't, as the case may be.
Is she gonna blink?
Twilight's done, but nothing's on the way yet. Doesn't have the money for it quite yet. I think it is going to be blink based on the delay.
And
This
the
looks like a bit
massive
of a
amount
4-gate
stalkers.
blink-ish build, but
There it
just
is.
heavily thrown off by that eBay block, I'd say.
Ooh,
And
I don't
think
know,
this
man.
is- Yeah, it's
What do you think about this? Blink against a rushing bio. I feel like you better control your blink stalkers really well.
yeah, the whole idea of having blink against this build, like going for this instead of going for Robo or like Colossus, I think is one counter. Just having 1 or 2 Colossi out is that you need to be on their side of the map with your stalkers, because you can pretty much infinitely kite the bio across the map, force out stims, or just pick off unit. And then by the time they get to your side of the map, they're too weak to really do much, and they either turn around and go home, or they charge in to get a little bit of damage in exchange for their lives. But
She's not going there though. She needs to get
she's
going.
not
there.
going there, yeah, and it's tough to keep up with that if they're just able to be all the way on your side of the map. And in this case, he's even going to have double medevac, I think. So
Okay.
that's going to be a little rough.
She's just now moving.
Although he does also do this thing where he only does the pure marine version, I think, because he also opts to go for tech alongside of it instead of like just the 3 barracks with a much more delayed factory and starport, and going for marauders. And just marines against, it's going to be like 10 stalkers with blink.
Yeah,
maybe, you could maybe get something done.
I think he feels like Blink is coming. Look at him hanging out there. But she sees the location of those Marines that went up.
Yeah, and technically being up the ramp here is not a good thing as the Marines. Now you got to walk down the ramp, although she's not going to jump on top of it, so
oh, yeah, she
won't make
should
much of a difference.
Oh, these are
blinking
these
back
bad.
against him.
These are not bad,
And,
actually.
Yeah, this is going very well for instability. Although now the stalkers are not targeting the Marines. You got to target fire the Marines here, not the SCVs. SCVs are just a distraction.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there, but
yeah, still though she's got the numbers a little bit here. But I think
Marauders are here.
Yeah, out come the Marauders now.
Oh, did not lose his
Gotta
prism.
transform the Prism. Yeah, that was sloppy and unnecessary, I think.
Yeah, she was off to a great start, man. But
yeah, if she just target fired the Marines instead of just shooting at a bunch of SCVs, it would have been really great. Still though, 14 workers
14
killed. There's
workers.
nothing to sneeze at. But
yeah,
she's not doing anything behind this. She could have had a Nexus going down. Just now she's starting an Immortal and starting a Nexus, but this is at the timing of, I'm going to go ahead and die to your counterattack now. As he's coming across the map with a lot of bio. And she's not making...
she needs to slow this down. If she's doing
she's
this blink
pulling a
stalker thing.
Cyan, No shield batteries. Not a 1. So
But she also needs
that
to be in front of this. Oh no! Shield battery would be insane here with the overcharge.
Yeah, shield battery would maybe make it a survivable situation. As it is, yeah, not a survivable
Doesn't
situation.
even use the force fields.
Yeah, not able to get those off.
And the Immortal's
unfortunately.
not shooting. And just now shooting, but it's very late to the game.
Yeah, just not really microing there. It felt like her heart wasn't in it much. You just kind of went through the motions of going across the map with the Stalkers, and then the Stalkers kill the Marines and win, and you're like, well, I guess I go in, but you don't do much with it beyond that.
And she has shield battery at the bottom. If she had a shield battery here, this would be totally fine.
Yeah, and I mean, she is still up in workers, and she's going to clear out some of the medevacs. She cleared out the Marines, but he's got a 3rd base. He's got mules, so...
And
he's got upgrades. She doesn't have a forge or anything like that. No charge on the way. So there's just not enough going on for her behind this.
Man, one thing too I noticed, when she saw the dropship, the medevac, I think she could have gotten it and then blinked out. But she wasn't maybe looking.
She's also got almost 10 chrono boosts sitting unused right now.
Oh, that is a lot.
That could be a lot of workers, more warp-ins. It could just be a whole lot going on that is
She
instead
has a lot of money.
not going on. Yeah.
Okay, there's the Colossus finally. It's a little bit late on that too.
Yeah, everything just feels a little slow.
About
overall.
15 seconds slow, kind of like that block, right? The eBay block.
Yeah. Well, and just generally, like, you know, chrono boost stuff and make probes consistently. These are things that we know Instability is capable of doing, but I mean, if you look right now, how long has it been since she produced a probe? You know?
Indeed.
She could be up 15 workers if she was using these chrono boosts and pumping probes, but instead she's down 5. So that's like probably, I'd say, easily 20 workers she could have at this point that she doesn't.
Okay, well,
Kind of
here
looks
it
like
is.
she's just gonna all in off of this, or maybe she is just worried about this attack that is inevitably coming, and indeed here it comes.
Charge is not done yet. If Charge was here and the Colossus, the second one's coming, she can still hold this. Maybe mount
Yeah,
the
she
comeback.
saw this coming, didn't she, with her observer? Why
yeah,
is she
she's out of
sitting where
position.
she's sitting? If she had that battery to defend herself, and she's moving out towards where she just sent a probe to scout. So, like, you just scouted that he's not there, and then you're pushing that direction. I don't know. Oh, well.
Oh, the Colossus is important here.
Yeah, the Colossus is very important, but
She has another one coming.
so weak, and yeah, second one will be here in a bit, but day late and $1 short. Charge isn't finished up when it absolutely could have and should have been, and yeah, just a little bit of rust and a little bit of sloppiness out of Instability overall, I'd say. Here does come the second Colossus, +1, and Charge will finish up, but you've lost a base at this point, which was already more than what Veils needed to keep ahead in this game. And it looks like that'll be all she wrote for game number 1 here. Veils with a dominant display.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, she had like great vision outside in her 4th base area, but then she also moved her army there, which meant that shield battery was exposed. If you have shield battery overcharge from the start there, maybe you just hold.
Yeah, and there's like at least 3 mistakes there that would have changed the game for her if one of them didn't happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not. I think if she just kind of sharpens up here a little bit, I don't know if that's possible, if that's an issue, a long-term issue or not, but I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think she can sharpen up on the next game.
Yeah, she absolutely could. We'll have to see if she does.
All right. Well, next map.
All right. So, for game number 2, it's going to be Data C. Data C, a little bit bigger of a map, but overall relatively similar, I would say, to Cosmic Sapphire. Won't see too many differences there, I don't believe. So we'll see how it does. But yeah, I mean, that really didn't look too bad. And, I mean, I think if she just target fired those Marines,
yeah,
instead of the STs on that initial push, she would have at least gotten much more damage done. I don't think it would have won the game necessarily, because there was still medevacs out and there were marauders coming. But you probably kill a lot more and lose a lot less.
Yeah, and then the shield battery too. She probably would have.
Yeah, no shield
taken
battery.
very little damage. She could have won right off the first
there was a
attack,
lot
actually.
could have been done. Yeah, not even on that last push, but both pushes if there'd been better positioning and shield batteries. But not too bad overall. A decent showing.
Yep.
Let's
make sure she's ready.
See. I'm guessing she's alt-tabbed. That would be my guess, because she's at her computer. Someone is in need of a person to talk to. Oh, I see. I'm guessing that one of our many siblings is bothering her.
Not now.
Yeah.
All
Try to
right.
play the game. Alrighty, already in the upper right-hand side of the map. We've got the blue Protoss player. She's down 0-1. She is
Instability.
And her opponent in the bottom left, the red Terran player, he is
Fails.
All right. Well, we'll see how this goes. Plan for the eBay block. That's another thing is I'm like,
oh yeah,
she doesn't get eBay blocked and her stalkers are 15 seconds earlier. I mean, they won the fight even so, but like, how much harder would they have won the fight, you know?
Yep.
So, things to think about. But we'll see if she prepares for that at all in this case. I mean, obviously this isn't, it's not like, oh, now she knows he does that. It's like, well, he's done that 4 games now against her over the last season. So
yes, sir.
She should really be ready. And it looks like she is somewhat ready. She's there to try and just prevent it from happening at all. Or at least be on top
and
of
she
it.
loses her probe. And it still gets down there.
Yeah, it does get down. She's pulling extra workers, though. And he does have to run away with it being on relatively low health. She can just go core into Nexus, I think, fairly comfortably. She probably should have pulled more workers, though.
Yeah, I think you need 4.
Yeah, to kill it pretty quickly. I mean,
Yep.
even so, probably won't be floating too much, but definitely more than she needs to be. Well, she's keeping her money low somehow or other. There's 400. Okay.
Yeah, worked out.
This is her Nexus went down after his command center by a good bit last game, so this is already much faster. So
Yeah,
there's
much
that.
better. Much better.
We'll see if he opts for the 3 racks again. It's looking like it, I think. Yeah, there we go.
If I was her, I'd do the same thing and execute it better.
Yeah, diversity 0 once again. I think was the chart. Works out. And I think, yeah, that gas is at a good timing. Cyberforce finished up now. This is a very nice and convenient wall-off for the Protoss on this map, for the Reaper wall-off. Just 2 simple little buildings. Not much to worry about. Very nice. Now, yeah, I think you just go for the same thing and just do it better. And if you do that, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Oh, I guess he skipped the Reaper this time. That's fair enough.
Skip the Reaper.
Fair enough.
Faster tech.
She's checking.
No.
Is this a wall? Nice. She after she built the Twilight Council, I'm not sure if you saw that on the stream.
Yeah.
She tried to check the probe past the gateway.
Yeah, it's a good thing to check. Although, you know, there's how many combinations can you mess this up? Because you know it can't squeeze in more than the 2 buildings the way she did. So
yeah. Although actually, technically, with this wall off, I'm pretty sure you could probably do that like Reaper grenade trick at the top to bounce over.
Yes.
Because that's a very tight corner with the Cyber Core there.
Indeed.
Not that there's really much worry about that. I mean,
it's a poke.
Neither of these players showing much diversity, so it's like, what are you worried about him scouting?
Hey, look at that.
Oh well.
Oh no.
Well,
okay. You know.
That could do really, really well.
Yeah.
Or really, really poorly. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, these are really early. Really early
Heard
shield
us
battery
from the
here.
last game, I guess. Yeah. She's like, can't forget it.
Like, I might as well get it out of the way.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, I don't really hate it that much if you get it that early. It's not like you have professional level timings. You need that 75 minerals right off the bat.
Yeah, I think it's fine. No big deal at all. Definitely need to see those extra gateways coming down in the near future. Oh wow, he's going 5 barracks?
And she gets SCV. Delays that 4th racks. And
recalls.
Beautiful.
And makes it out. That's got to be a little tilting, surely.
It's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, just annoying. Kills an SCV. Is he?
He's got 1
back
kill.
on? Okay, he did put it back on. There you go.
I mean, she knows this is 5 racks.
Yeah, this is wild.
Man. So she's
What a
gonna
wild
add
play.
an immortal with all these charge lots, and then with this shield, the Guardian shield. Should be pretty good, man. If she takes a nice fight here. But
Yeah, she definitely has the potential to do that.
But look at him, She's
I'm not
he's
sure what he's
defensive too.
doing.
He
Are
thinks
you
he's
just
being
gonna
all in by
go?
stalkers or something.
Oh,
Like
maybe.
before.
What does he think it is? I guess he's probably playing really scared because he didn't Reaper Scout. This is one of those things where you kind of bite yourself a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
going to build a Reaper, and then you're like, oh gosh, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what's going on. I have to build 5 bunkers and 5 barracks before I make a factory.
She's not expanding, so.
I'm going to have 200 Marines and 1 medevac, you know? So, kind of biting himself a little bit, but
And now she's getting blink stalkers. I feel like she
now,
needs
admittedly, these
more
Immortals ain't
gateways
doing
or
much
something.
unless he makes... He's got a plan to make Marauders here, surely, right?
Yeah.
3 tech labs. Well, maybe not. Guess we'll see.
I feel like she needs to get AoE or
She needs
more
a
gateways.
forge, and she needs to expand.
Yeah, she needs to expand.
She's doing
She's
that
got
thing
so
where
much
your
money.
brain's like, okay, and now they're going to attack me, and then you're like, so I don't have to do anything else until the Marines attack me, and then it doesn't happen, and like 5 minutes later, you still haven't continued on to the next stage of the game, and you're just waiting for the 3 rounds.
Okay, she expands.
There we go. Finally moving on. That's good.
All right.
And a forge and a Robo Bay. I would like to see that a lot sooner. Like as soon as you see 5 barracks, I'm like,
Yeah.
Robo Bay, dude. Like double
Right away.
Robo Bay.
It's either that or you'll rush the storm, right?
Those 5 racks as Marines ought to run into 6 Colossus, dude. Like that's what you need to do here.
All right.
But she's getting +1 ahead of his. This is just a weird game.
It is for both of them. She sees everything, by the way. She has that observer.
Yeah. Yeah, she knows exactly what's going on here. 3rd base finished up for him, finishing up for her. Still making more probes, which is good. He's getting that +1 now. Gonna go for his 2nd eBay. I think he's just moving out to defend, I guess. This is such a confusing game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's walled his tank in as well. I guess actually, you know, he can load that depot. We'll see how long it takes him to notice that, though.
If I was her, I'd prioritize the Colossus. Chrono that sucker.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she has a lot of energy. She is
You'd have
not
to, like, 3 or 4
chronoing again,
Colossus. That'd be
ET.
great. Yeah, it's you know, I never had trouble keeping that energy down, but it's a struggle, I think, for a lot of players. It just doesn't occur. And oh man, I'm not sure she can hold this. I mean,
She's not in a position.
double immortal. She's got shield battery. She's got some zealots. I guess
She
1
needs that
Colossus is going to make it out, and she'll have
Yes.
some forewarning. But yeah, that shield
Well,
battery is the
she has a
3rd
shield
blade.
battery. Okay, good. All right, and she has a
A
spotter
little late at
pylon.
3rd,
Big
so
deal.
I don't know.
Here it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, she's going to try and go around, I guess.
Ooh.
Rut-row
Ah,
raggy.
it's not going together. No, no. Okay, it delays it a little bit, but.
Yeah, and now the Colossus is stuck.
Oh, the Colossus needs to be in this
Not
fight.
gonna be able to join
Guardian
up.
Shield is activated. Oh, the Colossus gets focus fired.
F2'd it a little bit. Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, you get the perfect scout. You see exactly what they're going for, you know, and then you
And she
don't
just
go into
now
Colossus like
activates.
immediately. Like as soon as you see 5 barracks, you just got a snap call, you know.
Yeah, and she's just a little bit late on her timings here.
Yeah. Like I said, I think her brain is a little slow in moving from 3 racks to 5 racks response. Because if he is actually just going with the 3 racks worth of Marines and then the 5 racks is for later thing, then sure, you know, she'd probably hold that pretty well. But that bit of extra time to build up.
It's time for some major adjustments. You gotta get AoE as fast as possible, in my opinion. If you're gonna finesse it like this, and it's not working.
Yeah, I think just going for faster Colossus would probably be pretty good.
And she has the she went Twilight, so she went Charge Lot, right? It's actually faster to get Storm because you're right there in the Twilight already.
Yeah, it's true. That can work as well. Yeah,
He's
I
not
think
gonna
that would
have
be
ghosts.
completely fine there. Just anything. And it's not even just, you know, you got to rush. I think if he's going for his 3 racks, doing what she was doing was fine. But you scout 5 racks, you got to adjust. And maybe she didn't actually click on those barracks and she thought that was factory and starport like he does normally. That could easily have been what it was. I don't think I saw her ever click on them. I easily could have just missed it, but I definitely didn't see it to know that she did that. So that's probably what happened. If I had to guess, is she had no idea that those were barracks until much later.
Yep. Well, potentially the last game on Tropical Sacrifice. She needs to be a lot sharper. As Vale said, he feels pretty good about this, and it's showing.
Yeah, he's playing it quite well, so she's really got to pick up the pace.
All right, let's make sure she's ready to go. Paging instability. Okay, here it is.
Alrighty. We're hopping in to the top right corner of the map. We have our blue Protoss player. She is
Instability.
And in the bottom left, we got the red Terran player. Up 2-0. He is
Fails.
I wouldn't be chatting if I was her.
I don't know. For her, it feels like it might be
You
the
think
right
it helps?
choice because she tends to loosen up when she does that.
But
So-
when you're loose, do you hit your timings better?
Well, I just mean nerves-wise, loosen
Oh,
up.
okay. Do you think she's nervous? I don't think she's nervous. In fact, I think she's too
think she's-
nonchalant. I guess we should
Maybe?
ask her. We should ask her.
I don't think she's ever not been nervous in one of these matches.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll find out. And
She's-
look at her
she's
follow the
personality
SCV.
in general. So,
Oh, she's following the SCV, man.
well, that's fine though. She's just trying to deal with the E block, and she's bringing
I
3
guess she's
probes
not
for it, which
bothering.
I think is pretty good.
She's not bothering on scouting. She's like, yeah, you're gonna do 3 racks anyway.
Ooh.
Beautiful trap.
Yeah, got him. Well, this is probably the best start she's had. Because, yeah, I mean, what are you scouting for? He's building 3 barracks. You know?
Okay, she's
Next thing to
improving
worry
each
about
time.
is the Adept Scout.
Yep.
Yeah,
Her
yeah.
timing is better each game here, and this may be the difference here. Let's see.
Game 4, his SCV is going to come up to the top of the ramp, and there's going to be a perfect 8 probe surround that closes in and grabs him before he even builds the eBay. It'll be great.
If you guys are watching the stream chat, we got Matheson making some commentary with our viewers.
Yeah, pretty epic. He said he got his like brain upgraded.
Yes, we went up to GPT 3.5 Turbo with some additional StarCraft level context.
Interesting. Well, he definitely seems to be a lot higher level than the first time I ran into him.
I mean, look, I mean, look at the jokes he's making. Anyway, okay. Let's see here. Still the same build.
Yeah, same build that we've come to know and love. Instability, on the other hand, build a Twilight Council. Same build we've come to know and love, I guess, as well. So we'll see if it's going to be Blink or Charge this time around. I don't think the Charge lost it for her or anything.
Yeah, I
but
think it's fine. It's the Colossus being in the bad spot, right? And she went around. I wasn't actually a big fan of going around with everything. I think she should have kept a major portion of her army.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
just
that wasn't
around.
great.
Yeah.
Shield battery was late. Yeah, it was just generally not the best.
Okay, she's got a spotter probe here, and she's moving out with this.
Adept's coming out now.
To confirm the same build. Although, I'm sure there's some sort of minor variety with his barracks timings, but it's still all Rax builds.
Yeah, that's true.
And Blink. Okay, if she does the build she did on game 1, would love to see her try to do that.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. We'll see exactly what she opts for here.
I like how she closes the wall when there's no Reaper. Forget it. At that point, to me, I'm like, alright, I'll leave it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All that really does is just add more things that they can hit from the low ground if they siege up there.
Yeah, exactly.
More targets, really. So nothing great, nothing too terrible though.
Okay, lots of Raxes. Well, only 3.
3 gateways?
Okay, this is the perfect time to do the Blink, because there's a 3rd command center. Not as much Raxes.
Yeah, super quick, extra command center. And he's not building Marauders yet?
Man, she's not making a Prism. She's doing defensive, man. She's getting an Immortal here. She's not doing it.
Oh. Yeah, it feels like she's adapting, but in the wrong way. It's like adapting incorrectly to what he's been doing a little bit.
Defensively instead of adapting to kill you, to win the game.
Yeah,
right?
Take advantage of the opportunities you've got.
She might not have the same feel of game 1 as we do. We see everything, so we feel like, dude, you could have won. She probably felt like, oh, I did this, and that, and I still lost. There's just too many Marines. Forget it.
Yeah, well, she's got vision of the army and everything now, so she'll know about move-outs and whatnot. And then getting her 4th gateway, bit of a supply block.
Okay, she got charged now. Coming. And Bale's
That is a
same stuff.
Of Marines. And there's the extra barracks, starport
and no rack.
Well.
I mean, the Robo Bay is just now popping up in here.
Yeah, he goes so heavily on the bio that I feel like just double Robo pretty quick would be a reasonable enough, or at least a very, very fast Robo Bay. But I don't know. Looks like she's looking to take a 3rd at the moment. 3rd base already done for Vales, though.
Yeah, 3rd game's not working out too well, but it's about the engagement. Maybe she can have a much better engagement.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see if she can pull something out here. Vales coming down, getting ready to move out potentially, or I guess just defending his 3rd as well, though he typically likes to move out as his base is landing. So maybe doing that too.
And she's still not making a 3rd.
Stability will know about it, though, with that observer.
She's still not making a 3rd after all of this, knowing he's ahead. Economy-wise.
This feels like she's gonna all in
all
off 2 base as like a
I
YOLO.
don't mind that. If she does that, I'm
1
totally
or 2
cool
Colossus.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Well, okay. Yeah, now it's too late to take a 3rd. You already went up to 7 gateways or something? 6 gates. I guess it's not that many. I thought it was like 8. 6 gates though, and his base is already done in mining. It's like you're too slow to do this. You gotta just go for it, I think. Does she have charge? She does have charge.
Yeah,
I think
she has
just charge +1 to Colossus and
Should be
just kind of
pretty
make that a
good.
timing.
She might crush.
She might be able to smash this army. If she smashes this army and goes back across, then oh, he knows. Yeah, he knows.
I mean, he
can't deal with
sees
that.
1 Colossus. He's not gonna expect near 8 minutes. There's nothing, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I guess maybe he saw that there was no 3rd there, so he's cycling around to the other 3rd. I thought he was just gonna retreat, but nope. Looks like he's just gonna.
And she's not in the spot to defend this.
Yeah, it feels
But
like
she has
she's
2 Colossus.
never. Yeah, 2 Colossus is good. She's got a good amount of charge launch. She does have +1. He'll have 1/1 potentially though, depending on how long he waits.
These sentries
But it may just
are
be
really
+1 versus
slow.
+1.
And she's sending the. She needs to F2.
Oh, a little
Please
zealot
F2.
run by. Oh, she's anticipating this.
Okay,
and getting ready for flank
Here it is.
zealot.
Her
I
main
just don't know
army's
why
not
you
moving.
let him get this so far up on your 3rd before you move in.
And the
Oh, the charge
zealots-
rally. Oh, she's waffling because her flank got caught up dealing with the rally, and now it comes in, and now it's dead. Ah,
Oh,
man.
She can't reinforce here. She cannot reinforce with no pylon here.
Yeah, I think she's screwed the pooch a little bit.
Okay, here's
she
another
knew his
attempt.
army was out on the map, and she just did nothing about it.
I think she got too clever with the zealots earlier. Oh, this is it. This is our final attack. If she can, but she force fields herself out.
Yeah, she just kind of force fielded herself away from the tanks. Her Colossus are gone now, and no shield battery. Yeah, wait, where did this army come from? Okay, all right, because she can only warp in at her nat. Yeah, I don't know. This felt like it could have been a defense, but even so, I think she was still behind.
She was already behind, and her build just was not optimal. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. Aren't we all?
Matheson, don't say that.
Have you taught him to say dead game yet? That's when you know he'll truly be human-like.
No, I'm not teaching him anything. That's the good news. He's learning it on his own. Okay.
C2 is a competitive masterpiece, but it makes me yawn.
Okay. All right, we're gonna keep going because she
average Twitch
crushed that
chatter,
army.
really. Yeah,
She crushed the
man,
army,
I don't
but,
know. It's just
oh man, look at the army size.
it really just reads as out of practice, I guess. At the end of the day, that's what you're seeing here.
Yes. She owes her fans her top form, but she just did not show up today.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out. I mean, it's looking like it's all a cruise to victory here for Veils, which means Neutrophil knows what's up if he wins, or Dark Menace. Well, Dark Menace doesn't get helped here at any point. There's nothing here that can help Dark Menace, per se. Since he's Zerg.
Right, yeah.
And a fourth base for Veils. Maybe there's a thing here where you get Protoss. Is that possible?
Yeah, it's always possible.
Well, does he have Ghost Tech? No. Oh, there he does have Ghost Tech. I was gonna say a combination of Storm but she's catching up army size wise, and if she has a nice Protoss fight. But look at Veils and his expansions. He's just building the huge lead and going for the kill.
Yeah.
6 ghosts with that.
Yeah,
army.
he's looking dangerous here. And yeah, I don't see her holding against this army particularly well. Although she has a lot of storms, so it's like maybe, but he's got a lot of ghosts. And Veils is the type of player who'll scan ahead and send just 1 or 2 ghosts in to deal with the Templar. And most players at this level don't really know how to deal with that. Yep, here we go.
And as expected, right? She doesn't. She gets all her ghosts. Not all of them.
And then the storm that doesn't really hit anything, unfortunately, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
All she wrote for instability in this tournament. Veils advances to the finals.
All right, let's go chit chat with him.
Alrighty, yeah. Let's see here. All right, congratulations to Veils, taking that down in 3-0 fashion there. Everything felt pretty much to plan, I would say. Game 1, we were definitely a little taken aback when the Stalkers just kind of won that initial fight against the double medevac. Were you kind of a little surprised by how that fight went as well, or started to get worried in that game, or are you
No,
pretty
I
confident?
was just, I don't know why I didn't drop a bunker. I should have always have a bunker versus toss in case they do that stuff. It's just silly by me. I should know that she likes stalkers, so she could do that, but nearly died. Whoops.
Yeah, it was a lot closer than we were expecting, I think, in game one. But once you stabilized there, it looked pretty solid from that point on. I think no real major surprises throughout the series. Looking pretty strong in TVP overall. KJ, did you have any questions for Vales?
Vales, we're seeing some similar builds. Are there some subtle timings there with your barracks? I do know you're different in when you do 3 racks versus 5 racks, etc. You don't have to reveal it.
Sometimes I just feel like maybe they could all in me, so I want more units versus going for a third quicker, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
I feel like instability is more likely to try and all in me, but maybe, you know, if I get Neutrophil in the final, then maybe he might try something like that. So I do have to also try and show slight variations, otherwise they might just automatically take advantage that I always do a 3 racks or something like that.
Yeah, looks good. Looks good.
But I do have other builds, but I'm just saving them.
Yeah, saving them for the big one.
Exactly.
Yeah, and neither ET and I are Terran players, so we don't have much more than the basics on that. So we can't see all the subtleties.
Fair enough.
That's all I have, ET. Well, congratulations.
Congrats, and we'll see you, next, week
for
all kinds of finals. So
yeah,
we'll
you're in both finals. So there you go.
Maybe 12 games. We'll see.
All right. GG's. Good night. You ended at
GG's.
9:02 p.m., which is early for you, which is 1 a.m.
2
for you
a.m.
or something. 2 a.m. Okay, cool. Later, dude.
GG's. Later.
GG's.
And now let's bring in our final match players tonight. Dark Menace, Neutrophil, the other semifinals.
Yes. Yeah, as I said, a tale as old as time. Dark Menace versus Neutrophil in the playoffs. I guess the last couple seasons we have had slight variation where they're meeting in the semis both times, or semis instead of the grand finals like we've seen in previous seasons. But an exciting match nonetheless. How are y'all feeling, Dark Menace? How are you feeling about your chances versus Neutrophil here? Are you looking to take back the win rate in playoffs against Neutrophil?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Neutrophil, I guess you're kind of looking to make it into yet another finals. How are you feeling about going up against Dark Menace here? I guess relative to Vales, how would you rank the difficulty of beating Dark Menace versus beating Vales?
It's very weird. Like, I feel like Dark Menace is a lot more skilled than me at the moment, but I do tend to beat him a lot. So I think it's just the fact that we play each other a lot. So I still think it's kind of 50-50 right now. But he has been practicing a lot more, so we'll see.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, we were talking a little bit about last season. I think the final game came down to you just building like 12 battle cruisers and then teleporting them across the map, and there was no anti-air, so you managed to take him out there on your off race, no less. So I think, yeah, there's definitely a lot of mind games that can happen whenever there's someone you've played against a lot, where you can kind of subvert expectations, really mess with their heads. So looking forward to this series. I think every one I've seen between you two has always been exciting, so it should be good. KJ, did you have any questions for our players before we hop on in to the game?
Yeah, this will end the night. This should be, as chat says, a banger. I don't have any questions. Good luck to both of you.
All right, good luck, good luck. We'll go ahead and meet you guys up, and we'll see you after the series. We should have a fan-voted talkative prize, like $30 or something at the end of each season.
Yeah, that's true. You have to talk. We can get some
for whoever the best
information.
talker throughout the season was.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like a bonus prize.
yeah.
But you know, while we're doing that, let's take a look at their ratings, the player ratings, because we haven't seen these guys. So let's bring up neutrophils first and see what you think.
Oh yes. Let's see here. Okay, neutrophil, high offense, high micro, no cheese, bit of macro, fairly low speed, decent mechanics, a little bit of multitasking. I think his multitasking is better than that. I guess if we're talking in terms of the Code S, I'd say he's got some of the best. Warp Prism, and then hitting here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, the only reason I rated it lower is I've seen a few matches where he got over focused on the Warp Prism and he wasn't macro.
True.
And
That does happen for him sometimes.
yeah.
I think versatility. I mean, he's the guy who plays all 3 races and all the way into the playoffs. So I'd probably give him a little bit more in versatility.
Yep.
Although to be fair, I guess he only plays one build on each race basically. But other than that, he does like his Phoenix. He does like his Warp Prisms, and those are his big 2. And then yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Oh, and Dark Menace. Yeah, let's see his. Okay, high offense, high micro, high macro. I think he does have very, very, very strong macro. Minus making upgrades. His macro's impeccable, but half the time he forgets to make upgrades, which is fine. Good versatility, yeah. Good multitasking. I agree. I think I think these are pretty accurate.
There you go. Gentlemen, we got it right. Let's do it. Let's get this game started.
Yeah, hopping into Data C to start off the final series of the night. 3rd to last series of the whole tournament, I believe. So
yeah,
it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's a very long season.
Yeah, doesn't help that half the people can't play on Wednesdays.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make some adjustments there.
We are spawning in here in the lower left-hand side of the map. We've got the pink Protoss player. He is
Neutrophil.
And his opponent, the orange Zerg player in the upper right. He is
Dark Menace.
And they're talking about ping pong, which is fair. A lot of people like to say that StarCraft is the #1 most competitive 1v1 sport out there, but I think ping pong takes the cake for sure. And he does manage to get his base down there. No hatch blocks. So that's nice. Better at L. They're starting to communicate in terms I don't understand, so that's okay, I suppose. Yeah, I think I personally am rooting for my Zerg boy Dark Menace. 1, because I'm a Zerg player, and 2, I think he has the strongest shot against Veils, and I'd like to see the strongest possible finals, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than
we wanna.
I mean, Neutrophil will have a good showing as well, I think, but I think Dark Menace has probably the strongest showing of all. Although I think Veils probably still wins, but you know. But nonetheless. I'll be happy with whatever this comes out as, to be honest.
The good news is I think we have the 3 best players here for the finals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. These are definitely... we had, I think, yeah, the best top 4 possible. And then the best top 3 as well. Are we doing... We're doing a 3rd place match, right? So
Yes,
it'll be
sir.
loser this versus instability.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That'll be fun to see as well. Wing speed coming in as well. I imagine we'll probably see a Stargate. Where's his gas? He has like no gas. I think maybe he took his 2nd gas super late and then didn't fill it all the way or something. Because I mean, he made an Adept and then he had no Vespene left over. Normally it's like make an Adept and then make a 150 Vespene Stargate. So that was a little weird. Nonetheless, no big deal, I suppose. Queen taking out her anger at the supply block on the rocks. It's fair enough. Oh wow, he's hitting a big time supply block actually. Still no Overlord on the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's got Queens trying to build in certain locations and not having the best time of it. There it goes. There's an Overlord. Probably need to make another. Yep. Good. Stargate is indeed on the way. A Zealot on the way, which is a little interesting. And in comes the Adept to try and get a Scout off.
Ooh, massive pull here.
Yeah, that's a big pull. I guess he doesn't have any Lings, and he's still not making any, which means this double Adept could do quite a bit. But he is about to pass Neutrophil and drones pretty heavily. Well, there we go. 10 Lings on the way now. A little late, but looks like not much going to happen anyways. I feel like Dark Menace probably had enough time to react to those Adepts and morph in Extract or something, but oh well.
Yeah, I wasn't looking probably.
Yeah, I think so. Focusing on his macro. Who cares about losing one drone if he spent that time making 6 more? Oracle on the way. Going to be a little late. Oh, does find the Adepts. Will he get a good surround? It gets a very good surround. Will kill both. So that's a nice cleanup there. Means the Oracle kind of needs to stay at home, really. I guess he's still going to go out with it, but definitely puts your third base at risk a little bit there. Okay, with some additional warp-ins should be okay, I suppose. Oh, another good surround, though, and he made some extra Lings. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I think that Oracle's going to have to fly all the way home. Oh, but he doesn't actually get a good surround off on them. Still, though, I feel like he could stay and fight that. Oh, well.
Yeah, well, he had two.
Oracle stays across the map, but you kill 3 Adepts and a Zealot for 13 Lings. You force out 4 more Adepts that are not going to do much for your opponent throughout the game. Oh, but no Spore Crawler is not great. Does pull away some of the drones. Only 3 drones. Not terrible. Not too terrible. Pretty greedy out of Dark Menace, though. No Spores. Zerglings were super late. Going into a fast Spire as well. There's already a Phoenix out, though. Yeah, he's making Phoenix continually. I feel like Mutas just is not the play against Neutrophil of all people. He has a bit of a Phoenix obsession. And even just having 4 or 5 Phoenix out ahead of time is generally more than enough. Fast 4th base on the way for Neutrophil as well. Charge coming down as well. Baneling Nest coming in for Dark Menace, who's kind of slowed down a little unnecessarily, I think, on the drone production here. So, I mean, he's got 14 larvae right now. There we go.
Yeah,
12 more drones, but I think he'd had those larvae sitting for a little bit, so could have been up to 70, 80 workers already. He'll hop up there now, so that's pretty good. 1-1 melee on the way. Dark Menace, it looks like Neutrophil might show these Phoenix just before Dark Menace actually makes any mutas, so that's kind of serendipitous for him to know that maybe you shouldn't make mutas. There's already Phoenix out. Zealots, or no, Adepts. Interesting. Charge finishes up just in time for these 4 Adepts to come in to the main base and try to get some damage done. So hard to really do much more with 4 Adepts than you would with 2, you know, in this situation, because you're just target firing drones, and 2 Adepts kills them anyway, so you're just overkilling the drones almost every time. I guess it, you know, adds longevity, but I feel like 2 Adepts would have gotten 3 drones as well, you know. But not too bad. Anyways, does kind of cause Dark Menace to not be mining gas in the main. Does fix that, though. Very nice. Storm now on the way. Baneling speed +1 air weapons on the way for Dark Menace. And he's going to have a nice little upgrade lead on the ground, although Carapace does relatively little in these situations. So we'll see if it really comes into play in any major way. It's not terribly likely to.
Are you saying you wouldn't get it when you play, or just?
I would not get Carapace against Protoss. It's just not worth the resource investment. It doesn't prevent. I'm pretty sure +1 Carapace lanes still die in 2 hits to +1 Zealots, right? So it's like didn't do anything there. And the big thing to remember with Protoss attack upgrades is that most Protoss units don't get +1 damage from an attack upgrade. They get Immortals get +5. So, but the armor's still only doing -1, right? So you're investing this more money for +1 Carapace than they are for +1 attack, and +1 attack is still giving them +4 damage on you. So it's like investing more money to negate 1/5 of the upgrade on Immortals, and it's pretty similar across the line. It's just not really worth it. Against carriers, it's worth it if you're going Hydras, because they have the one Protoss unit really, besides I guess High Templar now have a very tiny attack, but that doesn't really count. If you're needing to worry about Carapace upgrades against High Templar, you have other problems. But yeah, basically carriers are the only thing that has attacks that are numerous and small enough that it really matters too much. It's just better to invest in 4 more Banelings or something like that, generally speaking. That's at least what the meta was last time I was playing super actively, and I don't believe it's changed, because that's been the meta in PvP for a long time. Dark Menace is a little slow on this 5th base. I mean, he's over-mining on every single base he has, and not just because they've mined out. Well, we'll see how this goes. I mean, +1, I should say, for clarity, +1 isn't doing nothing. It's just not doing as much as other things you could spend the same amount of money on would do, generally speaking. Big storms. Ooh, humongous storms, a good force field, and 11 Corruptors. Absolutely annihilate those 5 Phoenix, but then the problem is now you have 11 Corruptors. I think Dark Menace was expecting a bit heavier of an air focus here, and thus does not have the right composition to kind of deal with what actually happened. Queens obviously are still queens, so they're going to take a while to die, but they're starting to run out of that transfuse energy. Yeah, I think this game just kind of comes down to a lack of scouting. I think he saw the Phoenix and maybe assumed it was going to be carriers or something, because I mean nobody makes 11 Corruptors against 5 Phoenix, but GG.
Well, that was only game 1, so we got more to go, people.
Yeah, heck, I managed to kill half that game just talking about +1 armor, so not too bad.
Yep. Alright, Tropical Sacrifice.
Yeah, gonna be Tropical Sacrifice, a map we've seen twice tonight already, I think. A popular map. I guess in best of 5s, you're likely to see a lot of maps, although it hasn't really been much of a best of 5s yet. It's been 3-0s across the board, so. We'll see if we make it to a game 4 in this series. I think we're all hoping for it. Game 5 even.
Yeah, you're right. There's all the games have been 3-0s.
Yep. That happens, I feel like, in the FSL decently often in the playoffs. Although Neutrophil Dark Menace, I would be pretty surprised if it was a 3-0 in either direction.
Exactly.
Of all the series. They're big on the back and forth. Alrighty, so yeah, Tropical Sacrifice. I think this is a fairly good macro map. There's not like a whole lot of weirdness that goes on in this map in particular. It's pretty normal. Alright. Off we go then.
watching FSL.
Alrighty, in the upper right-hand corner, he is up 1-0 in this best of 5. The pink Protoss player, he is
Neutrophil.
And his opponent in the bottom left, the orange Zerg player, he is
Dark Menace.
Alrighty. So we'll have to see. I think it really just kind of came down to having too many corruptors against someone that wasn't making a lot of corruptors. Yeah, just barely snuck that one down. It's twice now that he's only narrowly gotten the base down. Feels like maybe at that point it's like just send the probe a couple seconds earlier, you know? Not much point in having it across the map that early.
Well, it's
not just a tiny bit earlier.
It's a gateway scout, right? Or was it a pylon scout? Oh, it's a pylon.
I think it was a pylon. I don't feel like gateway gets there that quick.
What? Yeah, we don't know what's. Yeah, I didn't see. I don't know.
Yeah, I was not super duper paying attention, but it's not the biggest of deals. But it's just like, well, may as well like core scout or gate scout. Yeah, if you're not gonna make it across in time, anyways. But no big deal, really. I assume on some maps he probably just naturally does it because it's a shorter map, and he probably just scouts at the same timing in all maps. You know, it's not like you really particularly need to worry about, you know, which timings to scout to do the hatch block on which maps at this level. I think it's fine to just have a consistent timing, and sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. Nonetheless, third base going down. Queen's going to be coming out. It's doing a little bit of the Korean style from years back, where you only make one queen and get the third just a little bit faster, which is fine. It's not hugely impactful. It kind of fell off a bit, I guess. I think because of the oracles, people just getting really good at the oracles. You don't have enough queens out in time anymore.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Especially because players like to rely on just queens instead of making spores. And so it's like, well, you wind up, it comes out in the wash, right? If you get the hatch a little bit later, but you don't have to make 2 spore crawlers that you would have to make otherwise, then your economy winds up being pretty much the same. In comes the Adept, though, a little bit faster this time, perhaps reacting to the fact that there were no Lings previously. And I would like to see a dive there if you don't see Lings, you know? But no way to know if there weren't Lings waiting on the high ground, I guess, or something like that. That does happen sometimes. Glaive Adept is going to be coming out. Yeah, I guess Darkman is going to get the scout off on that. I think he already had the scout on that, so I'm not sure why he pulled back there. So, I personally always found it quite difficult to tell on like the Twilight Council in particular whether or not it was researching. I always thought it was like the most annoying one to figure that out on. So, we'll see if Darkman has spotted out that it was researching or not. Because obviously, if you know that, you're probably pretty confident it's either charge or glaives, and the response is relatively similar.
Yeah.
Fast, Roachborn going to be coming down, and a lot of overlords, so I think he is somewhat aware at least. Sending out a Ling Scout to the third base. And, I mean, if you manage to see these Adepts, then you definitely know what's going on. Okay, he definitely knows what's going on. Assuming he actually saw that. 5 roaches on the way. And you probably just want to make nothing but Lings here, yeah? He's not making anything. Oh, he's just going to full wall. Yeah, I like that. I think that's fair enough. Might lose a roach or two, though. pop goes the Roach Boy. I definitely want to cancel one of these Evos, I would say. Yeah. Just let the roaches out. It's a budget door. It's like the probe, or the zealot in the wall off, but a little bit more annoying. I used to love to do that back when the Glaives was like the every game meta from when Zest almost won Katowice with it. I was still like, I like to play the 2-base gasless and ZVP at that point in time, so they'd come across the Adepts and there'd just be a full wall. I'm like, okay, go away now. Oh man, I long for the days when those kinds of strats were still viable. Now you do that and you're still on 2-base and they've got 4 and it just doesn't work as well.
Well, you saw that.
Yeah, saw it coming there a little bit. No 3rd base coming down for Neutrophil is super late, so I guess he's just going to go for an all-in here, but
yeah, he canceled it.
he just hasn't gotten enough damage done, so I don't think it's going to do much. And Dark Menace, I think, still has some vision. Yeah, he's checking those 3rds, so who knows. Oh, here's some good damage. Not bad. Sees the Spire. Ah, corner base. The Neutrophil Classic.
Indeed.
I feel like Dark Menace, of all people, though, tends to sniff that out pretty quick. It's like, well, you're not attacking, and you don't have a 3rd base, and I know you're not that bad at the game, so... I think he tends to scout that pretty quick in the past. Who knows, though? Maybe not this time.
Name a more
Still,
iconic
though.
duo. Neutrophil.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the problem here is that even with the hidden 3rd base, that's still super late, you know?
Well,
like, relative economy-wise, it's still a late 3rd base, so it's like, does it matter that much? We'll see.
He had the one that he canceled it, so the closer one.
Right, yeah. So, if it was taken a little bit earlier, then I could see it a bit more, but as it is, now it's like, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do here? So yeah, you either got to pull all your Stalkers to the main to deal with the Mutas, and you don't have anything at the front except Immortals, or, well, I guess just a few Stalkers. He doesn't have that many Mutalists, does he? 5, yeah, not very many. That's fair, then. I feel like you just drone up his Dark Menace, though. You're taking a 4th. Very close. Their bases are practically touching now, so that's exciting. If he wants to be really cute, maybe he already did this. No, yeah. If you want to be really cute, you can just... Oh, he did it with one of them. Set off the Immortal barriers with the Mutas, and then go in once they... That's something I've seen in the past.
Explain that to the viewers. Oh, never mind.
Right, so... Oh, well, maybe I'll explain it later. Not the time to move out. Oh, and he's away from the shield batteries. But good pickups, I think, overall.
Yeah, nice micro there.
Not too bad at all. So yeah, the Immortal Barrier thing, it used to be that Immortals had a passive ability called Hardened Shields, where it just, while they had shields, any damage they took was limited to a maximum of 10. So if your attack was going to do 30 damage, it would only do 10. Actually, we are coming in here again.
And the pickup.
Such a funky attack. Just a couple Ravagers, a couple Mutas. It's really cool. And targeting the Warp Prism with the Mutas, I like that a lot. And he's going to get it too. That's nice. It doesn't have enough troops to push through anyways. But yeah, so if you were going to do 30 damage, then you'd only do 10. But it was only active while shields were active. They went ahead and got rid of that in exchange for a passive active ability. So it's like an ability that activates, but you don't activate it. It activates on its own at a given trigger. It just absorbs a certain amount of damage. So you'll see the Immortals turn extra white, basically, and have like a white outline whenever it activates. As yikes, is he gonna lose this game? This is like a throw if he loses.
Yeah, he had those.
He just hasn't been injecting at all, has he?
Yeah,
I don't think he injected once during that whole thing.
He's too focused.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the queen in the top left of his nat. Full energy, natural, has no larva and no injects on it. Anyways, it just, that barrier activates the first time an Immortal takes damage. So with the Mutalist, you could just dive in, hit them once, and then wait until that ability. It doesn't just sit there. It only lasts like 5 seconds or until they've taken 150 damage or whatever the number is. So you just hit them really quick, but the mutas tap them, let the barriers activate, and then pull back, and then you just go in 5 seconds later, and suddenly they basically 150 less health than they otherwise would have, or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
Let me check. Immortal. Looking to maybe come in here? I think at this point, you shouldn't be able to kill him here. Emphasis on the shouldn't.
Oh, upgrades are decent.
Yeah, upgrades are looking okay here.
+1's finishing too.
Yeah, 1-1-1 he's got. The full kit and caboodle. And he's up in workers, but I mean, man, Neutrophil's going up to 5 bases now. Lurker is going to be coming in the near future. Oh, big surround-ish. Oh my word. Well, I don't know that you're going to have anything to defend those 5 bases with now. Yeah, 1-1 Lings do quite well against this army comp. There's just not enough meat to the, you know, like not enough zealots or something. I feel like you gotta go is Dark Menace.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe not. Yeah, I guess morph more, 44 more Lings, then you go. That makes sense. I'd like to see 2-2 for those Lings, or, well, maybe just +2/+2 attack instead of the Carapace. I don't know how much Carapace matters against Adepts, if at all. It's not really something that comes up typically, obviously. Well, yeah, I mean, now that Neutrophil's on 5 bases, against 5 bases, it's definitely a pretty even game, and Dark Menace never sniffed it out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by that. I really would have expected him to. Still, though, 2-2 on the way now. It's going to be +1/+1 against 2-2. Or no, 2-1, I guess. He does have +2 attack, does Neutrophil, so that's pretty good for him. Still, though, without Zealots, I don't know. Does he have Storm?
Yeah, he's gonna see it.
He does have Storm. Storm's pretty big, so that's good. But Lurkers on the flip side of things, and Hive coming in. The big thing here is that Neutrophil has absolutely abysmal gas incomes. He's got 10 extractors, but up until just now, only 4 of those extractors were mining, or assimilators. Just now putting onto gas on each of his bases. It was only the main and the nat until just a second ago, so that's not great. Protoss probably the most gas-intensive race in the entire game. We'll see how these Banelings do, coming in from all angles. There's not really any probes on the right base, though. And right as he comes in, there's a wall built. Still? Oh, well, I mean, I guess 7 probes can get traded away. Will this Baneling, the hero Baneling, find the hidden base? Probably not. And at this point, that hidden base is probably never going to get found, because now there's no real reason to question why Neutrophil has as much as he does, because it's like, oh, he has 4 bases. So it's less and less likely for him to get suspicious about that, since he has not gotten suspicious about that. Definitely like to see more expansions out of Dark Menace, though. It's good to have some backlog, so to speak. Another 7 probes here, 7 probes there. Okay. Creep spread, not great, I'll say. Creep spread is, especially with lurkers, I'd say, having the vision from the creep is very, very, very good. It's like, if you have creep a couple screens out here on the right, for example, you wouldn't lose your 5th base to the Protoss. But as it is, probably going to. I guess the thing is, as well, there's not really much punch in this army, you know, against lurkers. Like, how does this army ever kill lurkers when it's 90% adept? The only units here that do well against lurkers are pretty much just the Immortals. The Archons do okay, but, like, not great. I feel like you just go for a massive Ling counterattack in this situation, you know? It's like, they're never going to kill you.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the vision though.
So just send every ling across the map.
How would
well,
you
but
know
as soon as
that?
you see
That's
those
the
guys
thing.
come in. Well, I mean, you saw the army, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he came in and killed that base. So I look at that army and I say, that's adepts and some High Templar. The only thing that won't help in this army, or fighting this army, is my lings, right? Because storms and adepts are going to tear them apart. Everything else will do great. So I just send them on the counterattack. It's going to be +3 lings in the near-ish future, though, which is pretty cool. You have Adrenal as well. He left almost all of his lurkers are at home. Which is a little unfortunate here. Good pullback from the storm. I like that. Ooh, I don't know how this is gonna go. Oh, a big surround though. If you can get those immortals, that would be huge. I'm not gonna be able to get all of them. About half of Victorville's army just wasn't there. Now going to join up, but I think that was a pretty good trade for Dark Menace, and he's got a bigger bank, so sitting pretty thus far. Does not have the upgrades for his lurkers, so that's something we'll want to see in the near future, for sure. But Neutrophil isn't transitioning in any particular sense. He's got a couple Stargates, but he doesn't have a fleet beacon. He's not making any air units. It's basically just ground all day, and I don't see this comp winning against a lurker-based composition. Although, the lurkers don't have seismic spines, so you do kind of need that, I would say. It's very valuable against these big, clumpy armies. Still though? Oh yeah, and the creep spread. Just having the vision to respond a little bit quicker.
Yeah, very weird game for sure.
Super important in lurker armies. Because you've got to be burrowed before they get there, not after, or else things can go very south for you very quickly. And indeed, it looks like Neutrophil might swing up around to the left here. Zealots take care of that expansion.
Our drones are under attack.
And a little run by into the 4th, 5th something. Ooh, big Baneling on the right. Very nice. And the Ling's actually doing quite a bit, despite the fact that the army was right there. Oh, and he warps in Adepts? Look at this! I mean, if those are Zealots, then maybe, but these are 3-2 Lings with Adrenal against Adepts. That's the fall-off point of Adepts, for sure.
It's not that instability game where he had 0 upgrades, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you can almost just give up the space and see. That's the thing I'm seeing with Dark Menace's lurkers is he's not very good at maneuvering them. It seems like they get burrowed and then they pretty much just stay wherever they got burrowed, and that's it. But Big Storm's gonna come in now. Still, Banelings just do so disgustingly well against the depths. It's crazy. Oh, and now he's charging into the lurkers. Does he not know they're there? Oh no! It's a disaster. Ooh, okay. Oh, and my word, the Ling counterattack killed 2 bases while he was at it. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is brutal, dude.
Our forces are
That was
under
like
attack.
20 or 30 Lings, and they just killed 2 Nexi and a ton of probes. And that's game, pretty much.
Where would he be without that base?
Yeah, the one base that survives. The hidden base there to the very end.
And still, they pass by.
Our forces are under attack.
Yeah, aye. Well, this game is well and truly over, I would say. 3-3 Adrenalings to backstab with. And hey, big props to Dark Menace. Basically exactly what I said, you know, defend with the lurkers, counterattack with the Lings, and man, did it do good for Moen. Well, there's the hidden base scouted. The one lonesome Ling
are under attack.
goes in and sees it. I feel like he's over microing against these probes ever so slightly. Could be worrying about the hidden base, but now the probes are going to make it out of there. DTs will clean up the lings. That's a good way to deal with ling backstabs, I guess. Just have cloaked units. It's not enough to just kill these fringe bases, though, because Dark Menace's bank is humongous, and Neutrophil just doesn't have the mining to kind of win the war of attrition. I guess if you can keep him off of any expansions for like 10, 12 minutes, then maybe, but it's going to be real hard to do that as he adds on just more and more lurkers. We're up to 17 lurkers now, and they do have their upgrades, and they're getting +2. And another ling backstab, in it comes, and down the worker count goes, I think. Oh, kind of just standing there. Don't just stand there, do something. The DT. I like it. Sure. Could just send an overseer. No way, it didn't die. Send an overseer. That is one of the tougher skills to learn with your backstabs when this sort of thing happens, is to just adapt what you do for the backstabs. It's really easy to just keep grabbing 20 lings and sending them, but sometimes you have to grab some banelings or grab a couple roaches or hydras or something like that if they start adding on archons or DTs or just an overseer. There's no way you bust this, Neutrophil. I'm sorry. Do not go.
No, you won't.
Well, you say that. Oh. Oh.
It's like the tank backline. You know, you don't know how many.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Dark Menace is so scared of throwing this, you can tell. But the storm's gone, my boy. You can go now. Jeez. Wow.
Alright, no 3-0.
No 3-0. Hurrah. Yeah, that ling backstab was insane. Absolutely insane. 2 whole bases. Although even without that, I don't know. I think Neutrophil needed.
Oh, he got disconnected. It looks like. There he is. He's back.
I am. Okay, now I'm back.
Yes, sir. Cosmic Sapphires, the 3rd map.
Nice. Yeah, I was just discussing what happened in that game to an audience of no one, apparently. Yes. Guess my internet cut out temporarily.
Okay,
All
who's
right.
gonna face Veils? We're tied 1-1 now.
Yeah, it's a dead even fight here between the two of them. But I don't know, that game, it definitely felt like it definitely felt like Neutrophil just gave Dark Menace a little bit
Too much respect, you say?
Oh yeah, I guess you can put it that way. I just mean, after the Adepts, he really didn't try much else. And if you're gonna go for a composition that's primarily Adepts, that's not a 5-base comp. It's a 3-base comp. You know, you gotta just all in with it. Once they get up to lurkers and they have the ling backstabs going, I mean, you saw it's like you warp in like 8 Adepts to deal with the ling backstab, and the lings are like, okay, and then they just kill them while losing like 2 Zerglings.
Yeah.
And then you lose all your bases and the game. So, anyways, in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we've got the orange Zerg player. He's tying it up 1-1. He is
Dark Menace.
And in the upper left-hand side, we've got the pink Protoss player. He is
Neutrophil.
There it is.
The successful hatch block, and I think this is the shortest map we've had thus far too, so well, it works. And gonna go for a quick expand into the third as well. So, well, is he? What's happening?
Oh,
Guess
he,
down to
he,
the
he
pool
thought the better
first.
of it. He's like,
Yeah, I guess so. Interesting.
It is risky, right? 2 hatch before pool, so.
Yeah, that's definitely a risky build. I remember
But I
back...
do it, by the way, when I play on ladder.
yeah, it can be fun to pull it out every now and then. It really makes the game feel a lot different. But I remember a couple years back, End of Line spent like months like developing a 3 hatch before pool ZVP build that was all predicated on hitting into like a Hydra Bane timing with speed and everything, like 10 seconds before Storm would finish up. So if you messed up the build at all, you'd just get stormed into oblivion and die instantly. But if you did it right, you'd hit just before they had Storm and you'd wipe the floor with them. But yeah, a lot of times the 3 hatch before pool, like in ZVZ in particular, it's one of those ones where it's
ZVZ, that's risky. Oh my god.
Yeah, that one's tough. He did that too, though, at the same time.
That's crazy.
Because it's all predicated on you force them to just come and attack you, and then you play like hyper defensively, like super quick Baneling nest, no ling speed, just Banelings as like a spine crawler, ear nat in third, and a bunch of queens.
Yep.
And you just hope that they run into you and die, basically, and they do mostly. So, but yeah, ZVP 3 hatch before pool was a lot of fun, and ZVT. The ZVT it's pretty much impossible to do because of Reapers. Seven gate OP versus Zerg PogChamp.
He's got knowledge. Ooh, look at this beautiful scout.
We should do a show match where players have to ask Matheson what build they should play before the match each time.
You never know with AI. They may say, you know, make as many workers as you can and then pull them.
Yeah, something like
that. Kind of like Alpha Star, right? Remember when he was doing that? They were winning a lot of games. The way they were doing with Alpha Star in the beginning was the way AI reinforced learning is you give punishments and rewards. And the reward is if you win the game, right? Well, they were winning with probe pools. You know, just so that's what they kept doing for a while.
Yeah, it takes a long time for the iterations to kind of move past that.
Yeah, and I think what they did too is reinforced learning, where they kind of say, you know, let me just tag this move as a bad move.
Right.
And that's the best way, right? It's learning with assistance from humans. But right now, Matheson has no real assistance from the humans here, just yet.
And look, there you go. Zergling, Baneling opening, or Roach Ravager all in. It's perfect.
Not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's solid.
Much better. Yeah, that's not a bad move. That's a dark move.
Yeah, it's true.
Dark would do that move.
All he has to say from there is, and then go into 30 Infestors and 20 Ravagers. Saying, okay, well, I guess Matheson is just dark now. In comes the Void Ray. I like breaking these rocks down as the Zerg. I think that's a solid option.
Indeed.
Go ahead and push back that Void Ray. Third base up for both players. Fourth well on the way for Dark Menace. Does have his lair done. Gonna go for another 2 Evo build. That Hydra Den. Quick Infestation Pit. Not a care in the world. charge zealots. Is this going to be an all-in? I remember that used to be a thing very briefly. Was like you'd go Stargate, make 1 or 2 Void Rays just to kill Overlords, and just go 8-gate charge a lot. It's like the dumbest thing ever. It hits like 5 minutes late, but a lot of times the Zerg has nothing.
Yeah, it still happens in the low master level. I've run into it.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of smart because if you see Void Rays and you think they're going for Sky Toss, then the play is to just like go to 90 drones. But if you do that and then they charge Luddle in you, then you just super die. I don't think that's what he's going for here because he does have the 3rd base, but maybe. Maybe. Ooh, jumping on top. Will he get a void? I don't think so. Oh, he is doing it. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, this game is over, I think. 28 out of 16 on the 3rd base. 72 workers to 49. I guess he can lose this 3rd and just go over to his 4th, right? And if he can get out some Hydras, maybe he needed more Fanelings. If he had more Fanelings, he might have been able to do this, but now I don't think so. GG. Yawn. Yeah, I think if he just pulled like onto the ranch in the middle of the game. What a build. What a build. It's 2-1 just like that. Talking about how he could do that, and he's doing it. It's ahead of his time.
Alright, next map.
Yeah, our first game 4 of the night, heading into Inside and Out. Will we make it to Moon Dance? Time will tell.
Alright, we're loading into our 4th map.
Yeah, in we go.
We haven't seen this map all night.
Yeah, well,
we didn't get a game 4, did we?
That's true. That's true. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect. My Discord logo isn't turning green, so I'm like, ugh. But yeah, I think everyone was just picking the exact same builds every time.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
not
this
same
is
builds,
the
same maps for the first
smaller
3,
map.
and we never made it to 4. Yeah.
Better
yeah,
scouting for the
out.
Zerg, you think?
Yeah. Yeah, you just I think the general consensus is just you gotta make a Roach Warren, no matter what they're going for or what you think they're going for. You gotta make a Roach Warren.
That's what I do when I'm playing Protoss. I'm always making a Roach Warren. Heck, I even do it against Terran.
Yep. It's just good to have a lot of the time. All right, we are loading in to game number 4, potentially the final game of the night. As we are spawning in here, will this man in the lower left, the pink Protoss player, be able to close it out 3-1? He is Neutrophil. And his opponent in the upper right, we got the orange Zerg player. Will he be able to fight back? It is
Dark Menace.
Alrighty. A high ground wall off for Neutrophil here. Oh, a cannon rush. Spicy. I don't mind it. Now, why would you come in with a probe that early? You just forced them to do a build that's good against your build.
But he usually pylon scouts, doesn't he?
Yeah, usually, but you could just do the usual thing where you go, ah, I just barely didn't make it in time, and most of the
Yeah,
time
exactly.
the Zerg does
That's what I do.
Zergs don't look gift horses in the mouth, you know? And you're like, oh, I got the base down. That's great. Surely there's no nefarious ulterior motive for why this happened.
Yeah.
Now, I really don't like what he's doing here, which is this cannon rush spot, because we've seen that Dark Menace likes to go for the super expansion really, really quick. I think this was a bad idea. I think he should have done it behind the Nat. Because, yeah, he's just so likely to see it with an early expansion. Oh, well. Roach Warren coming down, so we see the plan here. Ooh, a Spine Crawler? Okay, well, Dark Menace, I don't think you need a Spine Crawler just yet.
I think he's gonna move it down as soon as thing to kind of slow down the
I
push.
guess. I'm just like, the cannon rushes are in a different postal code from you currently, so I don't think you need to probably just build the spine down there once the Nat finishes up. Oh, I like it. Corner base himself, eh? Oh, well, we got a thunderstorm going in. Well, if I disappear, that's probably why. Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be such a slow approach. I mean, it might still work, but not by virtue of where it was placed. Will he take the hidden base? I feel like he should. Especially if you know they go for Robo. Robo just hits so late. And it's so far back. And you saw he made a gateway up there.
Yep.
Alright. Well, yeah, this works. Make the corner base. You've got the money. Oh, what? Now that just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, what? Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Exactly.
That's just a misplay.
No, you don't have enough money for that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're planning on losing the natural base, then maybe? I don't think so. Okay. Well, also, why put the spine all the way back there? You're basically saying, all right, you can come all the way up onto the high ground and then attack me, instead of taking advantage of your high ground, you know, vision.
That's a little better.
And not using the biles. Yeah, I think Dark Menace just hasn't practiced against this much. He's doing like 4 different responses all at once, which is not what you want to do. You got to pick one and stick to it.
Yeah, for me, when this happens to me, I find I can never hold the net.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, he may as well have some drones mining down in the natural. I mean, if you're gonna try and defend it, you got 18 out of 16, you know.
Yeah, the only thing I disagree with is
made
the
more
third
drones
hatchery there.
Yeah, I don't think that was great. And I mean, he's got enough gas to make like 2 or 3 more Ravagers. I'm not sure why we're not doing that. Roaches are like negative value here.
I think I know his plan. He's gonna use
Nidus Swarm?
No, no. I think he's gonna.
Or...
Even though he's very late. There it is.
Okay. Swarm House.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna do that, you should try and take one of your gases in the net and mine from it as long as you can, right?
Yeah, but his timing on the net was just not good. So.
Yeah, it's true. But then I don't know, the macro hatchery. I guess you make a lot of lings.
That's
with
exactly
this
the thing. The
because
macro hatchery was the issue. You should not have done that. But here it is. Before.
Yeah, I think if it was a corner base, it'd be much better.
Yep,
Because you can just make a Nidus as well down the line and just go to the corner base.
Yeah, you should have.
Because you'll eventually want a Nidus so that you can Nidus their main with the Swarm House. I like this poking down with the
he's not injecting.
Broodlings. That was cute. Yeah, well, I mean, he's got a macro hatchery. He doesn't need to inject. In theory.
I suppose.
If he can survive out to like 6 or 7 Swarm Hosts, he'll be in an okay spot. But actually, the Protoss being as far back as they are is fairly good against the Swarm Hosts, because if you launch your wave here, you can't get out to their buildings before your stuff expires, so they can just run away basically, and you don't get as much value out of your locusts. And now he's making roaches. You gotta do one or the other, you know.
Yeah, you go full.
You go Ling Swarm Host, or you go Roach Ravager.
Yeah, what you do is the first set of roaches is just to push him back a little bit, and then the rest
Right,
are
exactly.
just
Keep
doing
them busy
yourself
until you can
completely
get this
wrong,
out.
So.
Like I said, it just doesn't feel like he's practiced this, which is fine. Some people just have Achilles heels and some cheeses, and that kind of seems to be what this is. Still, I mean, the Swarm Host response is really strong, so he might still be okay here.
And that's what I do. When I play this, I have fun with it because whatever they're doing, they can't really push with this Swarm Host. And then my counter
Targeting the Immortals, though, I don't like.
Just keep fighting, I suppose, right?
Yeah, the Stalkers are... Because of the barrier, it's going to be so hard to kill an Immortal. Because they have so much health, they can just get picked up into the Warp Prism, and they have a barrier. Whereas Stalkers, it's a little bit easier to just, like, kill the Stalker before they even have time to click on it, you know? Because Locusts do a lot of damage. Yeah, see, almost 3 Stalkers killed there, whereas the previous wave got 0 anything because he targeted an Immortal.
Oh.
He could be okay here. He's making drones down there, which is good. Neutrophil's going to be mining out now, too. He does... Neutrophil really needed to make shield batteries up here in the natural base by now. Because he's fighting so far away from the batteries that he's not getting nearly as much value as he could. That was the other thing, though, as well. If there were continued queen production instead of roaches with the extra money, I think he might have been in a better spot. Because you're really just looking for tanking while you're waiting for your locust to come out. And also, you can, if you have 8 queens, then it's possible you just snap the Warp Prism out before they have time to react, especially because there's no batteries nearby. GG, though.
Yep, and that's going to be the finals.
Versus Fails next week. But for the moment, congratulations to Neutrophil taking the series 3-1 there.
Let's get your camera on, and then let's do our final interviews.
All right, should be working. Yeah, so Dark Menace. I guess the aggression catching you off guard a little. Well, not necessarily off guard, but just knowing that they're cannon rushing you and knowing what to do are 2 different things sometimes, right? It's kind of, I think, what that last game came down to. Is cannon rush just not something you've got a ton of practice against?
So on that last game, I messed up my build like at the beginning, and then I was just thrown off there. But then like I knew what he's doing, and I knew what to do. But like I kind of just did too much stuff. I should have just stuck with like my original plan of going Swarm Horse, and done it faster. And I just I got the hatch, like the extra hatch in the main, and then I got a hatch bottom right, and then I didn't play well.
It looks like ET cut off there for a minute.
There are ways you can respond.
Yeah, okay, ET's still here, just the camera's out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, like I said, we got a bad thunderstorm rolling in, which usually kills the internet.
Worries.
So I may drop completely in a bit, but I think what we were kind of saying is there's like 6 or 7 or 8 ways you can respond to a cannon rush generally, and it kind of felt like you hit a little bit of every one of those.
Yeah.
But none of them super strongly, and just having really plotted out, reasoned, just exact thing you want to do against cannon rush is like 90% of what it takes to beat it. Just having a really solid thing you can switch into as soon as you scout it. And then game 3. What happened to game 3? I think it was another pretty aggressive attack.
It was the wasn't it the charge slot?
The charge slot Void Ray build. It's funny, I was not paying enough attention, I guess, because I was talking about how, what Neutrophil could do here is just make the 1 or 2 Void Rays and then go into a charge lot build and all in, and it's pretty strong, but it doesn't look like he's doing that. And then he was doing that, so I guess I just wasn't looking right. But definitely a tough build to deal with because it's very hard to scout. Were you kind of anticipating Sky Toss there?
I mean, I didn't really scout, so like I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't really like in the game.
Kind of like with the seeing 2 Void Rays. Usually 2 Void Rays for me is like, yeah, I think I probably need to make Hydra lists and things like that. Not necessarily worrying about 20 Zealots running into my base, but I think probably the craziest game of the night, though, was game 2, which you did end up taking with just some incredibly strong Ling backstabs. Were you kind of worried about that game at any point? It felt like you had a pretty good handle on it for the most part. I think maybe a little bit of a late transition into something that wasn't Adepts was a big help there. What would you say went right for you that game?
Well, I guess the main part where I was worried was like when I sent my Lings across in the initial depth thing, because I thought he would get a third, but like I didn't see it till like after the game. But I guess I scouted the secret base. I didn't see it though, like, so I didn't really realize. But I set the Lings over to kill the third base, but I didn't have enough at home, so I lost the queen and a roach. So I was like worried there, but I survived.
Yeah, you scouted it very late, and you never wound up killing it. But funnily enough, you kind of killed it, because when he saw that you'd scouted it, he pulled all the workers away from it anyways. So it wasn't really doing anything after you'd scouted it, even though you didn't technically kill the buildings. But yeah, I think the Ling backstab there at the end, or towards the end, where you just kind of crushed a fight, and then like 30 Lings killed like 2 bases, just kind of turned that around for you. So very well done in that game overall, and an exciting series throughout, I would say. Yeah, just get I think a little bit more planned out of a response against cannon rushes maybe. It's probably one of the least fun things in the game to do, at least for me, was actually like sit down and be like, what do I do when they build a base in my base? But definitely worth it to have a plan there. KJ, did you have any questions for Dark Menace before we talk to Neutrophil?
Did you feel like you were in better shape this time, or you felt like you played worse than usual?
I wouldn't say I felt like I played worse than usual. I just like had no idea what he was like gonna do, because I wasn't sure how good he was at the moment, and I also not sure what he was gonna do. But those last 2 games, like every single time we play each other, except for like in the regular season, he always does that.
I see. Alright, I think I'm good to go here. And so, it looks like ET's having issues now, but Neutrophil, tell us about your win. What do you feel? How did you feel the series went?
So, one thing I kind of did was I kind of planned out what builds I wanted to do in what order. So that charge lot void ray thing, I wanted to make it look like it was kind of like my game 1 kind of thing. So yeah, I just wanted to save that for later on, but everything just kind of went according to plan. The way I plan my builds out is hopefully so it doesn't predict the order they come in.
Oh, it
But
worked.
yeah.
Gotcha. And you'll be facing Veils, and of course he's gonna scout. He's gonna, he has scans. He's Terran, right? So it sounds like you have to do a little bit more homework. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd say so. I haven't played Terran in a while.
Cool. All right, well that'll do it for tonight's finals. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys later.
Game.
Alright, so, guys, that'll do it for the finals. Let's recap what happened tonight. We had 3 series tonight. We didn't do the 2v2. The Gray Instability, it was a 3-0. Instability did not look sharp, but she's still, a cut above the Code 8 champion, Gray. Gray gave it a good effort. He actually almost won game 1, but he just didn't finish the job there. So it was a clean 3-0. And then we saw Instability, who was just about 15-30 seconds late on everything. Like being out of position just by a little bit. Shield battery by just a little bit late. And Veils took full advantage and ran her over. 3-0. And then in tonight's game, we didn't get a 3-0. Dark Menace did win 1 game. However, even that 1 game win, Dark Menace probably could have lost pretty easily, except for a couple of big Lingbane surrounds for him against Neutrophil's army. And that was a difference, as well as some nice backstabs. But you know, the lack of scouting was the Dark Menace downfall here. The secret base, he just didn't know what to do with the different builds, etc. So we are gonna see Neutrophil face Veils in the finals. That will be next week. And also next week, we will see the 2v2 finals. Veils is also there with his partner Hurtentime for the dynamic duo of Terrence. And then we'll see Instability back in the finals with her partner Caliber C for Team Polaris. Valhurt versus Polaris for next week, guys. So, FSL, that's going to do it for me. We'll sign off here. We'll see you guys next time. GG's.
StarCraft fans, the casual family-friendly tournament FSL is deep in its playoff schedule and is now getting to its conclusion. The Code A champion was crowned when Gray in a surprise upset beat both the Archaic and Scion. He will now head on to the much tougher Code S division to take on Instability. The winner will take on Veils, the rookie Terran who some consider the favorite in the quarterfinals, who has had a dominant season so far. Now we head on to the other semi-finals match between Dark Menace and Neutrophil. This should be an exciting series as the best Zerg in the league takes on the multi-champ Neutrophil. The winner will be the first player in the finals, awaiting a worthy opponent. And of course the popular 2 versus 2 finals is on with Polaris taking on Valhurt. The Terran Protoss team of Caliber and Instability will be looking to avenge their regular season loss to Veils and Hurtentime's powerful double Terran team. Watch it this Friday starting at 6 p.m. US Eastern, as we finish off an exciting Season 6, with the best of 7 championship match the week after. See you there, warriors and fans. This is the FSL.
Sarah, what have you done?
Kerrigan, the die